3 o'clock on a Monday. Welcome aboard the Postgame Show along with Terry Ford. Right on time is Mr. Ford. Punctuality extraordinaire. Well done, sir. You made it. See, this is what I like. I feel like when you're way early, that makes me nervous.
What do you think?
And
this is bad news for you or something?
No, not that. Just like, well, his day's been thrown off, and now he's not sure. Plus, Dave clearly was not wanting to get the light, but you want the camera to see a little bit better, don't you?
Yeah, we need to turn the light up in here.
Yeah, Dave, turn one of those lights on.
Here, Dave.
Dimmed it.
Well, undim the light, Dave. We need to.
Dave had David Air After Dark going on in there.
I know. It's like I kind of scared.
There it is. Now I can see.
Well, now I'm scared of what was going on around me before I got here.
You should
I'm
be.
Very scared. By the way, I'm going to tell you this, and just since Dave's standing here, so Friday, I come down here. I'm Dave. What are you doing, man? What's going on? What's up? What's happening? He's sitting over on the couches, right?
Yeah, sure.
And he's just sitting there with his phone. I go, "What are you doing, Dave?" He goes, "I'm updating my dating profile."
Oh.
And he was uploading some new pictures.
No.
Swimsuit stuff.
No.
You're not going there?
No.
You're not?
No.
Yeah, you want to.
I don't want to. I mean, you took me there. So there's that.
So just today when you're sitting at the red light and you're, just kind of letting your mind wander.
No.
David Dare swimsuit pictures.
No. Thanks for that, Ter. Appreciate you. And, not just me, but the rest of the audience
The rest
as well.
of the audience.
They opened the pool.
They opened the pool at Dave's
complex.
Okay.
Dave's apartment complex.
And I got voted whitest legs in the complex.
I believe it. Well done, Dave. We're proud of you.
Yeah, he gets an award.
We're proud of you. Get a month's worth of sunscreen for that. Anyway, lots to get to on today's. In fact, we got way too much to get to on today's program.
We do.
Our good friend David Clonaker will be with us. We'll ask him what it was like as South Carolina introduced, Kevin Schnall the other night, and a little Apocalypse Now moment or two.
How about that, man?
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a helicopter?
I never have.
Me either. You ever want to?
Kinda.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm the opposite, man. I don't want any of that helicopter mess. I've done hot air balloon.
Never done that.
I've never done that, but I never desired to do the helicopter thing.
Well, that's not true. I've been on a hot air balloon, but it was tethered.
Was it off the ground?
Yeah, it was tethered.
Tethered, yeah.
Yeah, like it was something up in the mountains. And
I made the mistake of being untethered.
Yeah, we went up like 50 feet.
I'll give you my quick version of that is, it was Boise used to have this hot air balloon race. They might still have it for all I know. And so the radio cluster I worked for, we were involved in it, sponsorship, whatever. And so we thought it was fun. Every station, somebody would go up in a hot air balloon. So I decided to do that. And of course, I had the pilot of my hot air balloon was the Tom Cruise of hot air ballooning.
Now, okay.
I'm talking Top Gun Tom Cruise.
Oh, okay. Oh, got you.
Okay. So long story short, we ended up landing in a cul-de-sac outside of Boise.
Oh, nice. That's good. Well,
Yeah.
like maybe he lived there, right? Or
Yeah.
one of y'all getting dropped off early.
Yeah, no.
No.
He just landed in a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Because he thought he was Tom Cruise. Remember in the first movie what happened to Goose?
I'd rather not, but I do, yeah.
Yeah, well, we thought that was going to happen to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no helicopter, sir.
Okay,
Never
no
done
helicopter. I have, remember, well, they still make it, Red Baron frozen pizza?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
When I did the morning show at one of our stations way back in the day, the Red Baron pizza promotional folk came through town. Mm-hmm. And they indeed have a couple of biplanes, like vintage fixed up biplanes.
Oh, cool.
And my co-host and I were invited to ride in one of each.
Oh, nice.
And he wanted less than nothing to do with it. and when I say less than nothing to do with it, I mean almost to the point of like he was cussing like, you can forget about me getting on it. Only it was a lot more colorful, right? I leapt at the chance, and I got to tell you, it was spectacular.
Very cool.
It was awesome. For one thing, these dudes are great at what they do, right? But we went flying up over like northern Richland and Fairfield County, where over the countryside, those little rolling hills. We were doing loops. It was fan. And I was like, well, hey, since he didn't want to go,
can I go twice?
Can I take his?
Twice.
And they're like, no, we have a wait list. Like, you guys are up there, And I was like, oh, man.
That sounds like fun.
It was great.
I'll be honest with you, the hot air balloon, being up in the hot air balloon was cool.
Yeah.
Until this guy became Tom
Until
Cruise.
it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
but
it's like a lot of things in life. It was cool until it wasn't.
the theory of going up there and just chilling and looking around,
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Until he goes, hey, there's a tree. Let's go see how close we can get to it.
We have a friend here who had a hot air balloon, but I never went up with him in it. It wasn't that I didn't trust him. That didn't feel like my thing.
Yeah.
There's certain things.
Yeah, I feel like the helicopter. Maybe because I watched too many 1970s war movies when they're flying in with the helicopters and everything.
I get it.
And my son, they went on a trip to Canada when he was in 9th grade to go observe polar bears. The only animal that kills you for fun.
Sure.
Which is a great idea. So
There's probably others.
Yeah, well, they look so cute and cuddly at Christmas with their Coca-Colas, and then the rest of the year they just kill you if they're bored.
Sure.
So they went on this trip, and he had to fly in a helicopter.
Yeah.
And it was sort of like those 1972 helicopter from Apocalypse Now.
Okay.
And he said to me, I said, so what'd you think? He goes, I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, well, I never have, so maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know.
One was better over the weekend than the one from Apocalypse Now.
and that brings us back, for those who tuned in during the middle of that conversation, to having David Cloninger on, who was not on a helicopter, but Kevin Schnall and Cocky were, and the helicopter pilot. Mm-hmm. And they landed in the outfield at Founders Park on Friday night as Kevin got out to be officially introduced to Gamecock Nation, and fireworks and all kinds of fun stuff. So we'll ask David. That was one of the surprises that Jeremiah Donati said would be part of the festivities. Yeah. And so what was that like? I imagine that was fun. But DC will join us coming up at the bottom of the hour on that. And, the things that Kevin had to say in terms of the press conference. And he's punching all the right buttons so far.
So far.
Listen, they've gotten some kids in. He's compiling a very accomplished staff. So lots of reasons to feel optimistic about where this thing heads, knowing at the same time, as we've talked about, that 5 of the 8 schools that are in the College World Series are from your league.
Yep.
And another one of your annual opponents in North Carolina. So,
and by the way, you're 7th in the country in operational budget spending in baseball, and the 6 in front of you are in your league.
Yeah.
Yeah. Besides that, hey, welcome aboard.
Yeah. So, but they're going to give him the support he needs. We'll get into.
You know what I like about it, really quick?
Yeah.
Looking over all this so far, and again, this is a very little baby step in a lot of steps, right? We know that, and you hit it. He's saying all the right things, which he should. But I like the fact that some of these coastal kids are coming with him. It's sort of like that feeling of, all right, well, he must be doing something right there because a good amount of these kids want to come along and play ball with him. Yeah. And look, some of these players could go in other power leagues besides coming to the SEC in South Carolina. So right now it's early in the game. There's a long way to go. Obviously, wins matter. But just in this small, I guess, peak of what we're seeing, decent amount of his players want to come play for him in South Carolina.
Yeah, and we've seen quotes from a couple of them that do indeed want to, showcase their wares in the SEC, or some that are from South Carolina and maybe didn't get that initial chance for whatever reason over the last couple of recruiting cycles. And I think that speaks for itself.
Absolutely.
So, a lot of things. But David will talk to us about all that. There is some football news that we'll get into, and it's not good. We'll see how much this matters. We'll talk with David about that as well. Lots happening today out in Texas and in Big 12 country when it comes to this Brendan Sorsby situation. The NCAA today in federal court in Dallas did file for a stay of the injunction. In other words, hey, we know this judge has, for whatever reasons, said that breaking the rules is no big deal. And remember, this judge imposed his own punishment. There's still some real question about whether or not he has any ability to do that. And it's starting to feel like he really doesn't, but he did. So they're asking for a federal court to stay that injunction. In other words, no, this will go to trial, but everything that was asked for by the NCAA, they'll get for
it's
now.
Enforceable.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, you can't just tell somebody they can't enforce their rules.
Right, and that's another part. Everybody signed a document saying that the conference has rules. We're abiding by the rules because you know what? we as schools have helped make the rules.
Right. Well, even Texas Tech, who look, they're clinging to their defenses, and that's all well and good. I guess we expect no less.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, Texas Tech had to officially declare Brendan Sorsby ineligible in order to apply for his reinstatement.
Right.
So they know why they had to rule him ineligible, and that they had to do it as his school.
Right.
So there's that part of the equation.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway, we'll get into that. Andy, Kansas Attorney General,
Yes.
has now added his name to the list of AGs in the Big 12, ready to, and basically, once again, just like the Oklahoma AG the other day said, yeah, all that stuff that the Texas AG said about these case precedents, they don't apply here.
Right.
Like but he said the same thing. Like the Texas Attorney General is wrong.
Right.
Like this isn't how this antitrust stuff works when it comes to interscholastic conferences in different states.
And now the Big 12 is also getting themselves involved.
Yes.
To say that we need to be able to enforce our rules.
They have done the same thing. So you had the Big 12 file, you had the NCAA file. Those are separate. And you have now two AGs getting involved. So we'll get into those
and
things.
Did you hear the other part of this, ironically? So the other escape route for Brendan Sorsby is the NFL supplemental draft.
Right.
Well, you know what you need to have happen before you can do that.
You got to file for it, right?
Well, you can't. The only way you can do this is if you are deemed ineligible by the NCAA.
Or you take or you declare for the draft, I guess, right? Yeah.
And he's not at that spot, so he's kind of stuck in a way.
Now, I saw one thing, and maybe you know better than I on this if you saw more. I saw one thing, I thought last week or two, that said today was the day he'd have to make that decision.
Monday.
Because, so is it next Monday?
It's Monday, yeah.
Okay, I thought I saw that today because then next Monday would be the date that they would hold.
Let me
said
double check
draft.
it.
And then there was a week. There was a week in between.
Let me go double check this. I could have swore it was next Monday, but I'll double check.
I saw the 22nd, but I thought the 22nd was the date that if they were to hold one.
Maybe I'll double check.
That was it.
I think the supplemental draft is different than the NFL draft because like the supplemental draft,
they can pretty much just have it whenever they felt like.
Yeah, and it's really for kids who don't go the regular way. So you can't. I don't think you can declare for the supplemental draft. I think you have to be in some way ineligible to play college football to be in the supplemental draft. I'll double check.
All right. Well,
we'll see.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, because for one thing is Texas Tech is not going to release him.
No, unless he goes to him and says, "Hey, you know what? I'm out."
Because right now.
I mean, they could do that.
I mean, it's kind of a stuck situation, right?
Well, that's what they've been saying. But of course, they've had their boy Cody Campbell go, "Hey, we're just following the law." Like,
no, you're not really.
No one's making you play him.
No, you're playing him because you want to win games.
Yeah,
you have no plan B at quarterback.
So don't tell me you're following the
and you
law.
drop $4 million.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah.
Is there a law for that, Jay?
No. That's voluntary. That's voluntary. All right, we'll get into that for you. College World Series going on. Knicks win. Wow. Just wow. By the way, I know you have the stats on the like win probabilities, right? Oh my God.
I know.
Uncanny. Uncanny what the Knicks have done. It's going to go down. I agree with Dan Patrick on this, and I thought about it last night, or I guess Saturday night. This is going to go down as a 4-1.
Yeah.
But it was not a
4-1.
thrashing.
Guess what? San Antonio led more minutes in the series than the Knicks.
Like by a lot.
Yes, I think 75%.
Yeah.
And the Knicks only led about 25% of the series.
Yeah.
They just led the important parts.
Yeah. And like they say, I think it was something, well, yeah, it might have been less because I think like 4% they were tied.
It's insane. Insane.
Yeah.
When you look at if you look at all the numbers of this series and you go, 5 games? And the Knicks won?
And the Knicks won.
Yeah.
Yeah. And congratulations to the Hurricanes.
That's right. Canes won it, baby.
And actually kind of easily last night.
Yeah, you know what? Last night, after the previous 5 games or whatever, last night was like, okay.
Yeah, I think Vegas just quit.
They had the life beaten out of them after a while, and they were just like, we're done. And by the way, the Canes are still probably at the casino.
I would be.
Hell yeah.
USA gets their World Cup bid going nicely the other night, and Spain, a little upset today. They didn't lose.
Oops.
But they didn't win.
One team left the field feeling really good, and
Cape Verde may as well have won 10-0 today, the way they're feeling right now. They may never do anything again, but that happened today. All right, lots to get to. David Cloninger coming up in just a bit as well. A Monday postgame show continues.
All I ever say is, if it's going to push the program forward, I'm in. It's not about me, but if it's going to push the program forward, if it's going to make the boat go faster, I'm in. It was an awesome time, awesome day. Jeremiah, thank you for doing it.
That's Kevin Schnall on being asked to make an entrance with the mascot from a helicopter.
So okay, ready? So you're Kevin Schnall, who comes off as a very buttoned-up dude, right? Like serious, straight on, no BS. You're sitting in that helicopter in your gear, and you turn to your right.
Yeah.
You see Cocky.
There's Cocky.
You're in a helicopter.
Yeah. Hopefully not for very long. I'm assuming they took off from like Owens, so just a minute or two in the copter.
At that point, though, you're up in the air and you're in a helicopter, and you look over and there's the mascot, and you're like, "What the hell am I doing?"
Yeah, there's a little something surreal about that.
There has to be, right? And not to say good, bad, or whatever. But there's something like really surreal's the best word.
Yeah,
of being up in the air like.
That's what you're in for, Coach. That's what you're in for. I'd rather have Cocky in there, though. With all due respect to the real Rooster, I'd rather have. Have. Yeah, I don't know if I want the real Rooster.
I don't know if the real Rooster would handle being that high up in the air very well. And you know what happens when the Rooster gets upset?
Yeah, I don't want that.
I wouldn't know none of that smoke.
I don't want that. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. David Cloninger was at the ceremony on Friday night, which included. We'll see how many hot dogs David ate. Free hot dogs and sodas and things.
And hey, look, the word "free's" attached to that.
Sure. And fireworks show. So a lot of fun stuff happened on Friday night. We'll get into that in just a little bit. We got a lot of sound from Coach Schnall and from Jeremiah Donati. And look, I think this is cut number 9, please, sir, on today's list. This is Kevin Schnall on looking back and kind of thanking those who helped him get to where he is now.
I had the opportunity to share a dugout with Gary Gilmore for 23 years. I had a front row seat to learn how to build a program, how to establish a program, how to sustain a championship elite program. Gilly's one of the best college baseball coaches to ever do it. The opportunity he gave me, the belief he's shown in me, is a big reason why I'm in this seat right now. I love you, Gilly, and can't thank you enough. To the former players, as you guys know, I didn't throw one pitch, I didn't field one ball, I didn't have one quality at bat. Your success on the field is the reason I'm the head baseball coach here at the University of South Carolina. I love you guys and can't thank you enough. The current AD that's at Coastal Carolina right now, Chance Miller. He's only been there for a short time, but his energy, his vision, he has positively impacted Coastal Carolina. Coastal is lucky to have him. Personally, Chance, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your honesty. I won't forget that.
Good stuff from Kevin Schnall Friday night as he was introduced as the new Gamecock baseball coach, thanking Coach Gilmore. Obviously, people around here think very highly of Chance Miller as well and know what he was able to do as an associate AD at South Carolina and what a terrific pickup he's been for Coastal. And we know, eventually, whenever that day comes, he's going places. And I like what he said to his former players. I also like the fact, Terry, that he has already made contact with several former Gamecocks and wants to kind of, I don't want to say re-embrace them. It isn't as if they were ignored, but you could clearly tell that there was some disconnect maybe over the last several years, maybe not, and those things, that's certainly not something that you're going to want to see long term. No. And you don't want to see too much distance created because it makes it that much harder to bridge that gap again.
A couple things. I think, one, when you have a great tradition, you need to lean into your tradition, right? You need to make this. How many times have we heard this? You can go point all over the place. We can talk about North Carolina basketball. It's a family. I mean, go way back to guys who like Jimmy Black and Phil Ford, all the way up to Tyler Hansborough. It's a family. Alabama football has become a family. It's been a family. It's just another generation with Nick. Carolina baseball here, you heard it was a family for a long time with Ray, right? And here slowly, it's just kind of drifted a bit. And I give Kevin Schnall a lot of credit. He recognized that. And he started talking to some former players who, were responsible for those banners. And they were like, well, here's what we think. And Kevin Schnall really took that, to heart. And so did Jeremiah Donati as well.
Right.
So I think that's a definite step in the right direction. You want to build that family back up to where these guys show up. Like those Sports Center commercials when mascots are walking around Bristol or whatever. Yeah. You want like former greats just walking around the baseball complex. Hey, what's up? Right. Just want to stop on by and say, hey. I mean, you want it to feel that comfortable and that familial. You just do. And I think that's another of these little mini steps we're talking about in the right direction. I think that's absolutely one of them.
You made me think of a couple. They're in the Masters. They had them on. One was Bubba and the Stanford tree, and they're in the newsroom.
Yes.
He's like trying to get around the tree. He's like can't figure out which way to hit it. And then John Rahm and the Florida Gator. He's like, I think I'll just take a drop. Those are good.
Those for the Sports Center promos are phenomenal.
They're great. And not a golf one, but when the Oregon Duck is like at a desk looking out and there's ducks swimming on the pond and he's like lamenting the fact that you could just tell. But you hear him sigh, which is great. Because they're not even supposed to make noise, right? But you hear him go.
I like the one where I forget which Sports Center anchor was going to get in the elevator. It was the New Jersey Devil, and he was going down.
Yeah.
I'll take the next one.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah. And you even see the red down arrow.
Yeah.
I think it's going down. Yeah.
Those commercials are
they're good, man.
Those promos are phenomenal.
They're good. They're good. All right, I tell you what. Let's have more time with David Cloninger. He was at the event on Friday night. We'll get DC's take on Kevin Schnall's introduction. More importantly, some of what DC learned about Kevin in the full-on press conference that was after the big ceremony out on the field. David Cloninger on that, plus some difficult, that's one word to use, but an unfortunate situation with a Gamecock football player that David will have the latest on as well. You are listening to the Postgame Show.
We talk about the men's clinic of South Carolina a ton here on this radio show because, well, if you're a guy and things just aren't right, you feel off in so many different ways and you don't know why. Now, go talk to the folks at the men's clinic. Dr. Dan and his crew specializing in helping you as you get older and try to navigate these changes and things that you're like, this sucks. 803-875-MENS is the number. Give the folks at the men's clinic a call. Set up a free confidential consultation. Go in, tell them your story. They'll do a testosterone test on you, and they will sit down and put together a plan specifically designed for you to get you back to feeling right again. Just make the call, because getting older does suck. 803-875-MENS, the men's clinic of South Carolina. Just sit down, have a conversation, take it from there, and get yourself feeling like you again. Start at the men's clinic.
3:32 here on a Monday. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. Postgame show rolling on. David Cloninger in just a second. Update from Omaha. Bama is trying to get back into this one. We're only in the top of the fourth elimination game. Bama and Texas. The Horns up 7-1, now 7-2. Alabama has just hit a solo shot to make it 7-2 top four. So still plenty of time, but obviously another SEC team is going to go home today. Mississippi losing yesterday after being up big.
They were up 6-2, man.
Yeah.
Blew that lead to Troy.
Up big on Troy. By the way, for those who watched the game and there was debate about the kid that balked with the bases loaded, it's a balk. 100 times out of 100. In fact, he really did two things wrong. It's a balk. I know you don't want to see it in situations like that.
But a balk's a balk.
But he really balked twice.
Yeah, when you balk, man.
I mean, and he said, and you can't just because, he was saying that he couldn't hear with his thing in his, it doesn't matter.
Once you put your foot on the rubber, Jay Phillips.
Yeah, if you step off wrong or if you put your hand to the glove and then you take the glove, so he really did two things wrong. He didn't come set before he stepped off. You have to come set. And he reached his hand up and then tried to put it back, and you can't do that.
Can't do it.
So really, it was two balks.
So you should have had two runners move.
That's right. That's right. David Cloninger is with us now. He never balks. He is simply just one of the finest beat writers known to man. And we'll get into a few serious things here, too. But I got to ask you, and I kind of hinted at this when we were texting back and forth this morning, but did you know what was going on? Did you have any inkling that Coach Schnall was going to be introduced, or was there some legitimate concern for a second or two about the helicopter approaching Founders Park Friday night?
Well, I didn't know they were going to do the helicopter, but was forewarned by be like, yeah, you need to be ready for something. Okay. So I hear the helicopter, and I see him come in above right field there. And I'm like, they're not going to do this, are they? And then they start circling around. I'm like, okay, he's either in that thing or they're lining us up for a good strafing run. I saw Apocalypse Now, so I don't know what's going on here, but I'm also wondering, what's the groundskeeper got to say about this when that thing lands in center field?
Yeah, good news. I guess there's time to fix that. So that'll come out of Kevin's signing bonus, David. That'll probably be that, or Jeremiah will make sure that it gets taken care of. We'll come back around to baseball, but let me and I hate to go from frivolous and fun to serious before we get back to Kevin Schnall, but I do know there is some developing news around Gamecock football with running back Sam Williams-Dixon and being arrested, he and his brother, David, for breaking into cars at Gamecock residence halls, or at least apartment buildings around campus. What more might you have learned about this situation?
Not too much, guys. I mean, they were breaking into teammates' cars, which, first of all, don't break into cars, and second, don't break into teammates' cars. Right. And who knows? I mean, obviously, there was a list of items that was published in the state today, about what they taught. I thought, man, that's a lot of stuff to be leaving in a car.
Yeah.
Really valuable stuff, but, that shouldn't be the concern here. But I haven't heard this officially, but I would not expect him to be around here too much longer. There's some things you can overlook, but this ain't one of them.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that until we hear more. All right. Let's get back to Kevin Schnall. We've talked with you already, and John Whittle and Jack Veltri in the last few days about how we got here. So now he is here, David. Reaction to his introduction, to obviously pushing the right buttons early on with fans and with what needs to be said. But how different an approach do you feel this is going to be in terms of what we have talked about for a couple of years with you, and that is that this program is going to need a lot to get back to where it wants to be?
Well, that's the thing, Jay. I mean, I think we all know that this first roster, despite the huge influx of guys from Coastal, he got a high school kid who was committed to Coastal just a few minutes ago. I mean, this still might just be a case of taking who you could get. It's great that you see all these kids joining in right now, but in terms of just the raw roster numbers, man, they're still a couple of interstates away from where they really need to be to feel comfortable. So that's the main thing. And really, that's what you wanted to see. I mean, he came in, he answered all the questions and was polite about it and everything, but you could tell he's not one to kibitz. He's not one to just, shoot the bull with. especially right now. He's like, okay, I got to, get out of here and go get back to recruiting my team. And that's what you want to see. That is what you want to see. And it can't be just a case of, hey, you're just going to go get whoever you can out of the portal. You're trying to go ahead and build recruits for the next few classes. He's already got a couple of big-time kids lined up for the 2027 class, then add to the high school class of 26 while you're shopping the portal. So that's what they're doing, and, it's going great right now. They just got to keep going until they fill out the team.
Hey, David, and you're right. I mean, you're not going to get like story time with Coach Schnall a lot. He's going to be right direct, give you the answer, and move to the next question. But anything he said strike you in any way, shape, or form of, okay, that's good to hear? Oh, I didn't figure he'd go that route. Was there anything you took away from the press conference in your head one way or the other?
Not really. I was just glad that he went out and said, like, hey, we've got to attack. Building this roster, we're going to attack getting this team back to where it needs to be. He spoke of South Carolina being the standard, when he was coming up at Coastal Carolina. And when he started talking about what was at that time the 10th anniversary of that super regional down in Myrtle Beach, the USC won and went to the College World Series, I thought, that's an interesting way to start. Bring up Coastal is one of the worst moments. And then you kind of transpose it into how South Carolina did. I'm like, but that's actually something good. It stuck with him. And, of course, talking about the fans that day, which was a tremendous fan presence, which you couple that with how hot it was down there, it's amazing if those fans could stand through for 18 innings and watch the Gamecocks win that super. But, yeah, it was just great to hear him say, here's my plan, here's what we're going to do. I'm not going to tweak my style just because I might not be able to work it around the personnel of this team. But I like how he put it when I asked about analytics. It's a huge part of the game, he said. That's what I do, and I got to have some guys who are obsessed with getting to first base. I liked hearing that. Obsessed with getting to first base, and then you put the plan in motion. So I said, that's great, because I was always saying, even back during the Tanner days, I'm like, guys, come on, you can play a little small ball here. And somebody like Justin Smoke or before him, any of those old bashers like they had, even Ryan Bordenick would get up and jack a 3-run homer. I'm like, all right, well, I'll shut up now. But you still got to start working every part of the game to win.
Talking to David Cloninger of the Post and Courier. Kevin Schnall officially introduced on Friday night at Founders Park with a rousing celebration that included fireworks and a helicopter entrance. Let's talk about the other part of this equation, or at least one of them, and that is that this is Jeremiah Donati's first major hire at South Carolina since taking over for Ray Tanner, and said a lot of the right things as well, David. But your impressions of Jeremiah's approach to this hire and the things that he had to say about Kevin Schnall in terms of, again, building a program, which to a lot of people seems like an unfortunate part of all this, but it's necessary. That's where things are.
Yeah, I'm going to steal a line from our good friend Kendall Rogers over at D1 Baseball when the hire was announced. It's really good for USC not to overthink this. He was always going to be a top candidate. You knew that he was going to be one of the first guys contacted, and it was always going to be the case of, like, if he turns it down, it's going to be on him. Not for anything South Carolina did. It's just he would have felt too loyal to Coastal. But he always made the most sense. So I applaud Jeremiah Donati for targeting him immediately and able to talk Kevin Schnall into saying, hey, listen, we know you're interested. We like you. We are going to talk to some other guys. And Kevin's not dumb. He knew that they were talking at him. And if it came down to a choice of USC between Kevin Schnall and Scott Forbes, you're like, well, probably I can see it on either way. But Scott Forbes is, that name carries a good chunk of weight. But he was gracious enough to say, I get it, no problem. I'm not going to wait forever, but I'll wait a little bit for you guys. And the way that they conducted the search, which was in the utmost secrecy, that was a relief. Frustrating on my end at times, but still, that's how you need to conduct things. Keep it in the dark. Don't let any rejections or any behind-the-scenes talk get public until you want them to go public. And as he said, Jeremiah Donati said, it feels like this program was stuck in the sand, quite frankly, and we needed somebody to get them out of it. And this guy right here is who's going to do that.
David, I thought it was interesting when he brought up about being next to Coach Gilmore when Gilmore built the program at Coastal and what he learned from Coach Gilmore. Because, again, this is something that Coach Schnall has never done on his own, but he sat next to a guy who did a pretty good job of building a program.
Absolutely, and then he was a huge part of building that team. Really, he was there at the start, but when he left for UCF, then came back, and he really that his first year back was the national championship year in '16, and then he kept building that by saying, "Hey, this is terrific. This is the high point, but we're not done yet. We're going to keep seeing if we can keep getting back here." And they got close sometimes, and then got there when he was the first year's head coach. He helped build all that. So he's learned how to do it. He's learned how to implement his style from one of the greats to ever do it in Gilly. So that was really great. And also, I know there's a lot of Coastal fans and maybe former players kind of cheesed off about like, well, I think he could have handled it better. He didn't have to do this. He didn't have to do that. I get that. But at least one of the first things he said was like, hey, before we get started here, if this happens, I want to play Coastal. I want to play Coastal in this series. I want to give back to those guys. That's a good thing to do because, as you guys know, for whatever reason, politics from 40 years ago was playing into decisions. We can't play those guys. They split off from us. Yeah, what was that, 1980? I mean, let's evolve a little. I know that's a foreign term in today's society, but let's try to evolve. And he went ahead and said that I can't give you a date now, of course, but it's going to happen. Coastal and USC are going to play baseball.
That's good. I know Clemson plays them, and again, may as well. Look, your schedule's hard. Now, I wouldn't want to see it at the expense of maybe NC State or North Carolina, but you could find a way to do a little bit. We shall see. We got real quick, about 10 seconds. Did you eat a lot of free hot dogs on Friday?
No, I've had my fill of the Founders Park / Sarge Fry tube steaks. I'm good for life on those.
Okay, right, good enough. Appreciate you as always, sir.
Thanks,
we'll holler at
man.
you soon.
Well, appreciate you guys.
Have a
Thanks
good
for
one,
having
my
me.
man.
That's our
See
good
you.
friend David Cloninger, DCP&C on Twitter, postandcourier.com. And if you haven't already, as I often mention, sign up for David's Gamecock newsletter. Lots of great stuff that he puts out there every single week. Terry will open the vault when the postgame show returns.
Carolina embodies everything great about college baseball. Championship tradition, unbelievable fan base, and an athletic administration and university that is committed to excellence. As a coach, we've always wanted to measure ourselves against the best. The SEC is the major leagues of college baseball.
Kevin Schnall being introduced on Friday. Question was, why this job in Columbia and why now? That was his answer. Welcome back in. Jay Phillips, Terry Ford with you. We've got a lot more to get to from both Coach Schnall and AD Jeremiah Donati throughout the course of the program. So hang around for that, and we'll have more. There's some, and we've played a couple of short clips from Kevin. There are a couple of longer ones in here on, and David mentioned one that I think you'll all want to hear, and that's about analytics and how he and his staff embrace that, which, as we have understood from, those who have followed the program closely the last couple of years, maybe wasn't nearly as embraced by the most recent staff.
Sometimes it's almost the opposite of being embraced.
Yeah, save for, one of them. But anyway. And by the way, hats off. Glad to see, if you didn't hear, Chad Holbrook has hired Monty Lee to be his associate head coach down in Charleston. So happy to see Monty return down there. And I think he and Chad will do some good things together. They can both recruit. They can both coach.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them.
Yeah.
And also, if you didn't hear, maybe a lot of you were at the beach last week or some such, Chris Lamonis has been hired to take over for Kevin Schnall at Coastal. Chris went to the Citadel, was part of their team that went to the World Series back in the 90s. He's from South Carolina. He was a great coach at Indiana, got hired by Mississippi State, and all he did was go win the College World Series. Yeah. And then something went wrong. And I still, I think a lot of us kind of look and just aren't really sure exactly what happened. Look, things happen in life, but Chris took a couple of years off, and he's been back here in the Palmetto State just kind of working around the game. And we knew he was interested in getting back into coaching.
Yeah, there was smoke about him coming
his
back.
Agent. I don't want to say his agent was shopping him, but his agent was certainly letting anybody know, my boy's ready to get back in.
Yeah,
and he has won the College World Series.
Yep, nice spot for him.
Yeah. That's great.
For him
I think it's and he's back home. Yep. That's where he's from.
Spot for him.
I think it's great. I do too.
Good for, hopefully, whatever went sideways at Mississippi State.
Well, you learn, right?
Yeah,
and
you
know what to fix.
Move forward.
Yeah, and maybe that's why you take some time off and reflect and figure that out and get the right guys to work with you. But Chris knows what's up, man. And I had no concerns for Coastal's future. Chance was going to get so, and that school. I know, but they take it seriously. So this was not going to be like, oh God, what do we do now?
Right. And you think about it for a minute. Again, you obviously the first question you sit down with Chris Lamone says, what the bleep happened? And you get the answer and what he thinks happened and reflecting on what it is moving forward. What would you do different? And obviously the answers were good enough for Chance, where Chance went, all right, man. Yeah. You got yourself a nice big World Series championship ring. Come on in here and let's keep this thing going. And
I realize he won in the SEC, but you're going to a place that's won that championship. So calling it a massive step down or anything is not accurate. Not that anybody necessarily has, but it's a good spot. It's a good spot.
Absolutely.
All right, vault time.
All right, this day in 1980, this golfer won his fourth U.S. Open. Record 272 in 72 holes, 1980.
80. Well, Jack?
Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Jack
Nicklaus.
Jack Nicklaus.
Nicholson.
Jack Klugman. Yeah, exactly. Jack Nicholson, leaving the Lakers game, went on to win his fourth U.S. Open.
Real quick, I was telling somebody, because they had the stars, the celebs in San Antonio, and I was telling you might remember this. I was telling my daughters about a CBS television, like when Dick Stockton called the games, Lakers Celtics finals, and Jack Nicholson, who always had courtside seats in L.A.
Always.
But was like, remember that night he was like second from the rafters in the old Boston Garden, and the cameras finally found him? And I'm like, that's a fan.
Yeah. he was there.
I remember being like, 15 years old going,
Look,
that's cool.
Jack did not show up to be seen on TV.
No, but I mean, that's the only ticket he could get.
I mean, Jack was serious.
That's the only ticket he could get.
I know, Jack
But
was
there's
serious.
Jack Nicholson, who could have afforded more, but he's like, I got in.
I got in because he truly loved ball.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I want to be seen or whatever.
He just wanted to cheer on the Lakers. Remember that? Like way up there. But the cameras found him, man.
My man loved the Lakers.
Yeah.
All right, this one, if you get this, this is a Hall of Famer if you get it.
Okay.
This day in 1996, this boxer completed a unique doubleheader. He defended his IBF super middleweight title and then went and played in the United States Basketball League game and scored 5 points.
Middleweight fighter in the 90s. Oh, gosh. I'm not going to get it. Yeah.
Roy Jones Jr. did.
Oh, okay.
He dabbled a little bit in basketball. I never knew he did this till I saw this.
I did not know that.
I'm not going to pretend I knew it. I did not know.
Okay.
That's pretty interesting little double.
Yeah. By the mid-90s, though, middleweight, I mean, the 80s were the heyday for those guys.
That's when I loved
They were
80s
better than heavyweights,
boxing.
man.
Yes, they
in
were.
the 80s. And then that Tyson fella came along. Hour 2 coming up.
CHW Cabinetry. We talk about it a lot. We do. Star and her crew, fantastic folks. Photorealistic renderings. They go from beginning to end, very transparent in the job, and they do inside, outside work, and obviously the work is second to none. You can go to the website, CHW Cabinetry, and check out all the fine quality work that's being done at CHW Cabinetry. You just start off everything by giving them a call, 803-520-6837. You make that phone call. You go sit down, talk to them. Let them know what you're looking for, the budget you can work within, and they will make it happen for you and hold your hand through the entire process. Again, it starts with a phone call, 803-520-6837. Sit down, CHW Cabinetry. Again, photorealistic renderings. You'll see everything come to life before your eyes as the work is done for you at CHW Cabinetry. Again, 803-520-6837. Make that call to our folks and our buddies at CHW Cabinetry.
4 o'clock on this Monday. Welcome back in. Second hour of the post-game show coming at you from downtown Columbia's Herndon Chevy Studios. Alongside Terry Ford, I'm Jay Phillips. Hope all of you enjoyed the weekend. You probably didn't because it was hot. It wasn't just hot. It was hot. It was hot. Not supposed to be this hot. We had a friend in from out of town. The family did, and one of my daughter's friends. And we did have to say it is about 10 degrees above average for this time of year. So we went to Soda City on Saturday morning, and that was nice.
Oh, I haven't been over there in a minute. I like Soda City.
I do too.
Times.
We went early. Like, seriously, we left the house at 9:15 or something. And we were done by 10:15.
Really?
Yeah. It was hot, man. It was hot. It's just, I was like, you know what? We bought a couple of things. Saw our guy Brian, the vintage record guy, who's I'm a big fan.
Well,
of.
your boy.
Yeah, I've bought several of his products through the years.
You get anything this time?
We almost did.
Milli Vanilli?
No, he had an original pressing of Murmur by REM, which put them on the map.
Ooh, good album.
It's more than that.
Oh,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm going to say this, and this is just me. I like REM a lot, but I like the REM before they became REM, like famous top 40 hits REM.
Before when they went to Warner, like Document is their album. That's their last album on the old IRS records, and then
I go back to Radio Free Europe and stuff like that.
Well, that's
man.
on, and that's the opener of Murmur, and
Yeah,
that's again that sound, that and Pilgrimage and those songs on that album just, and you're like, what's he saying? It's like doesn't matter.
No.
But the thing is, Michael Stipe wrote amazing lyrics that do have a lot of deep meaning. You just couldn't understand them. And ultimately, by the time they got around to Document, I even think the people at IRS were like, "Hey, Michael, at least let's enunciate some more of these," because Life's Rich Pageant started to get that going, and again, Document is such an amazing album. I like Green a lot, but that's when they went to Warner, and look, even REM has some, at least just enough capitalism in them.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
and certainly like Bill Berry did. Like, y'all, I just want to get paid.
Yeah, nothing wrong with wanting to make your bank account bigger, man.
And they did.
All right.
But it allowed them to do a lot of things philanthropically. And they had several great albums and years under Warner Brothers. And you can't, they were so good for a while, but ultimately it levels off. But I know what but you're especially if you were around, and you and I were, when REM began, like any band, you evolve, and there was noticeable change. And I think the pressure from Warner to write a couple of hits, like, listen, I still don't know for sure. I think I do. Like, Shiny Happy People was a hit. Mm-hmm. And Kate Pearson is amazing. I love the B-52s.
I love B-52s,
and she they're all Athens kids together growing up and whatnot, at least, from school time. And, and she's amazing.
Sure.
But I don't know if they really like that song.
I bet you once you get away from that song and years go by and you start to put that set list together, if you decide to do a comeback,
I doubt
tour,
they're doing it on stage.
I don't think Shiny Happy People.
Yeah, that's not
hitting.
that's not making the stage.
No, it's not.
That's not making.
Just saying.
But no, he had that, but it was good. But then, and we got some again free shout out Cottle Farms fresh strawberries, which I was very happy about. And I think one of the girls got some of those. I forget the name of the potato guy. The fresh cut fries and homemade tots.
They're always. Oh, I love homemade tots. Man.
They're good.
They always have a couple good little coffee brands.
Oh, they got several. Yeah, but it was too hot for coffee. I had my coffee that morning. Well, I know. I typically would have gotten one.
Hey, look, I'm that guy though. I'll go to a place and get a hot coffee, and they stare at me, going, "Sir, it's 104 degrees." I go, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, and they have iced coffee for those wondering. I
drink it too fast, man.
Yeah, that's exactly. I was going to say. When I get an iced coffee, it is gone in like 30 seconds. I can't sip it.
I can't either.
Yeah,
I sip hot coffee.
Me too, but I can't sip an iced coffee. It's just gone.
Yeah, that's why I don't get them.
Just gone. But we had a good time.
Good.
But it was hot.
I haven't been in a long time.
But it was hot. Watched a lot of sports this weekend instead and did some things around the house. And College World Series. Again, big congrats yesterday to Skylar Meade and Troy. Listen, they've beaten a lot of SEC teams. They had a top 20 strength of schedule this year. Skylar, knew what was up. No, listen, making the College World Series for the Troy Trojans is always going to be a long shot. Everybody can set it as a goal. But that they've attained that goal and that they've won a game, they eliminated Mississippi yesterday, and they'll have West Virginia tomorrow afternoon. WVU losing yesterday to North Carolina. It's a big deal. And I'm not going to favor one over another tomorrow, Terry, and I'm not pulling for anybody per se. But I got every reason to believe that Troy can advance again tomorrow. But I got as many reasons to believe that West Virginia win. I don't know. I call it a toss-up kind of game, but that's the whole point, that we can call it a toss-up. And I said on Twitter yesterday about Troy, it'll be labeled an upset. But that's not an upset. I mean, you and I talked a lot about what they did, to win the Gainesville Regional, but they had some wins over SEC teams in the regular season.
We discuss this all the time.
They're tested. With
baseball, again, it's peak and valley game. They're at a hell of a peak right now.
Yep.
I mean, they had the most losses ever for a team going to Omaha. This year they had moments of struggle.
24.
Yeah, they had moments of struggle this year.
I think they were like 39 and
yeah, they went through tough going. Yeah. If I remember correctly, I heard that stat on Sirius XM. They were talking about the college sports channel about how many losses they had, and I didn't know that stat till they said it. And so they went through peaks and valleys this year, but they've been on a heater.
Yeah.
They rolled through the regional and the supers, and they're just playing really well. They're hitting the ball. I told you 200 points of OPS higher than they did during the regular season, and they're rolling. And could they continue a roll? Sure. I mean they bounced back. They were down 6-2. They could have gone home the other day against Ole Miss, by the way.
Right.
And they just started cooking, and before you know it, Ole Miss looked at the scoreboard and went, well, what happened to us?
Yeah, and it was 6-2, I guess, when that kid balked with the bases loaded. And again, for those of you watching and maybe had a problem with that, I know Mike Bianco did, but upon reflection, I would hope that a baseball guy like Coach Bianco knows that again, there's really two balks on that. Yeah, but it's 100 times out of 100 that's a balk, and one of those four umpires is going to call that. You got to come set before you take your foot off the rubber. That's something that you're taught. In fact, I'll tell you this much, Terry, and I'm not trying to make this about me, but I've told you the story before. I was an outfielder growing up. I had no idea when I got to high school that I was going to pitch.
Right.
The high school coach was like, "You ever pitch?" I was like, "Nope." He's like, "You do now." I was like, "Oh crap." He wouldn't let me do anything but throw from the stretch in preseason and for even the first few games that I ultimately pitched for that very reason. I need you to just learn how to keep your foot on the rubber and throw the baseball to home plate. We'll worry about a windup and all those other things later. So you learn right away that if you want to step off, you must have come set. Otherwise, it's a balk. And you learn and you're taught what those things are. And yeah, I feel bad for the kid. And he probably didn't. Look, you're probably a little freaked out anyway. Bases loaded in front of 25,000 people at the College World Series, even if you're winning. And the technology in your ear isn't working. And so you're trying to tap your ear. Well, that's an unfortunate side effect, if you will, of today's technology. But the thing to do is that and look, you learn, and everybody else can learn too, not just the Ole Miss guy. You need to yell out to your catcher to tell the umpire you need a timeout. And then you can call a timeout. And then you can step off and you can dance around the mound if you want to.
Time's a beautiful thing. I mean, I remember, because I didn't pitch because
But you can't call timeout on your own from the mound and raise your hands up because again, you didn't come set. And he did a couple things wrong.
Right. It's easy. If you're like a base runner, you slide into a bag, you can call time and get up and get off the bag and wipe yourself off and do all that stuff as a position player or a base runner. Different ball game, different animal.
Yeah, and again, you can yell down to your catcher, "I need a timeout," and he'll call, and then the catcher will go, "Hey, we need timeout," and the ump will give it to you.
Well, you'll see it. You see it in times in major league games where the catcher will help the pitcher out and turn and call time.
Anyway, but Ole Miss elimination game right now. Texas and Alabama. Horns are up 7-2 on the Tide. Bama is hitting top 6. They're the visitor today. Top 6, Bama. Nobody on, 2 out. So Texas looks like they're headed towards staying alive, and Alabama will be going home.
How about what Georgia did to them?
I didn't necessarily see that coming.
No.
I thought Georgia might win the game. And for those of you who missed Terry and me talking about it, I think we both agreed the winner of the Georgia-Texas game Saturday night was going to have, in our opinion at least, kind of an inside track on getting this whole thing done. And certainly you go into the winner's bracket, which is great, but it just so happened as the bracket shaped up that those were the two best teams left. Because remember, the 1 and 2 seeds, UCLA and Georgia Tech, were eliminated early. So the two best teams left in this thing, and North Carolina's good too, and they're in the winner's bracket, and they'll move on. They should. I just thought the winner of that game was going to have, a really nice opportunity, but boy, Georgia decided to flex, and they pitched.
Well, that was the thing. We had this conversation last week. The difference between Georgia this year and last year is their pitching staff.
Yeah,
they're just better. I mean, the kid that threw that gem the other day, he's had command issues at times.
And you could tell. I mean, you could, like, watching him, and you might feel the same way. Body language tells you a lot, and that kid was like, "I'm having a game, man."
Hey. You were talking about a dude who was cooking.
Yeah, he knew he knew he was having a game.
It's one of those days where you go, man, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It
feels good too. It's rare, but it feels good when you have one of those days.
He's had those days every now and then where he's had problems. He's had some Luke Lelouch in him every now and then.
Right.
But he was he was on a heater.
Yeah.
And it was almost like Texas was helpless. They were just helpless at the plate.
Yeah.
And you use a lot of body language. You see some Texas players, hitters walk from home plate, just going.
But they know they're good.
Oh yeah,
they know they're good.
Well,
they're kind of flexing today. Tonight, Georgia back at it. Oklahoma looked good against Alabama the other day too, man. And so Georgia and Oklahoma tonight. Tomorrow, West Virginia and Troy. So we're getting this going. But again, unfortunately, but of course it had to happen in this side of the bracket that an SEC team was going home.
Yeah, I mean, when you got so many playing each other, these things happen at times.
That's right.
So 1 gone and 4 left, but then you have 1 gone today, and we're down 3.
And we just before we get into some things on the other side of the break with the Sorsby case, we talked about it already once a little bit, but the New York Knickerbockers getting it done.
Yeah, I mean,
I got to go back and find. I didn't pull this. I'm going to find this stat again about the win percentage.
But it was San Antonio led every game in the last 2 minutes.
Right.
San Antonio, at some point in every game, had a double-digit lead. And they only won one of them. But, watching it, I was watching it Saturday night, and I'm sitting there, and once you got to about that 5-6 minute mark, here come the Knicks. And I was talking to somebody about it earlier today. You can look at all the stats in the world and the analytics, and you can look at numbers until your eyeballs pop out. But last time I checked, these games are played by human beings.
Right.
Some human beings, when the stage gets at its brightest, thrive. Some of them, lower extremities tighten up very tight. And I think you saw that with San Antonio, young team, never been through this before. Every time it got to crunch time, they stopped doing everything they did to get the leads, Jay. It was almost like, Mitch Johnson, the head coach, called a timeout and said, guys, everything you've been doing, stop it. Let's stop doing it. All of a sudden, they settle for jumpers. You got a 7'4" guy 25 feet from the basket. And the one guy that's aggressively attacking, you stop giving the ball. This happened the whole series. You know what the Knicks did? Calmly, as a veteran crew, they were composed. The moment wasn't too big. And when they were really in trouble, they gave the ball to Jalen Brunson, and he did crazy. Like Game 5 was a masterpiece by Brunson.
It was extraordinary to watch. And for somebody who has, for the last couple of seasons, been their best player by far, to see somebody elevate their game that way and to watch others just give it to Jalen. And that's not like the strategy necessarily, other than, oh my God. I mean, he scored half their points.
Well,
he scored half their points.
Two things happened in Game 5 as that went along. A, he was on fire, and B, the rest of them couldn't hit water if they fell off a boat.
No, but the Spurs, it's like certain players, man. And I know we're up against a break, but when like San Antonio knows. Right? Mm-hmm. And you couldn't stop him.
Well, here's the thing, too. You didn't do anything. You didn't double him. You didn't run defenders at him. You didn't try to get the ball out of his hands. I would have put 5 guys on him. And said, the
At
other
some
4
point,
next
yeah,
to
like
shoot.
we're
I don't
not letting
care.
this guy beat us, y'all.
And they did, and that's why a lot of it too. I also look at a newbie head coach in San Antonio, his first time through this.
They got some work to do, but
They got
that
talent,
ownership
man.
group will get it done. All right, we got a lot going on in the Brendan Sorsby case. NCAA and Big 12 going to court against Texas Tech in a roundabout way. We'll give you details after this. We tell you a lot about Griffin Pools and Spas, and you might be a candidate for a brand new pool in your backyard, especially times like this, right? But maybe you already have a pool, but it needs a little TLC or even more than that. Griffin Pools and Spas not only builds brand new pools, but they will help make sure that your current pool is also nicely maintained. Pool and spa repair, a lot of things can go wrong over time. And if you think something's going wrong with your pool, get one of the experts from Griffin out to your house to check it out. Equipment upgrades, maybe that pump or filter system just isn't getting it done. Water's kind of cloudy and gross, so that thing's loud. You hear it back in the corner of the yard. You're like, I don't know if that's supposed to be that way. Yeah, well, then time to get a new one. Vinyl liner could be faded out from chemicals and sun through the years. Get a new one, really replace that. Safety covers to keep the little ones and the pets nice and safe. And they can analyze your water to make sure it's nice and clean all the time. Learn more when you stop in and see them on North Lake Drive or go to griffinpoolsandspas.com. All right, welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. Got more from Kevin Schnall and Jeremiah Donati throughout the afternoon, so stay tuned for that as Coach Schnall officially introduced to the Gamecock Nation on Friday and to the media. Texas is adding to its lead, now bottom 6 in Omaha elimination game. And the Horns lead Bama now 9-2, still hitting with a runner on base. So, once again, as I said, even before they scored those runs, looks like Texas is on its way to moving on. We shall see.
Yep, they look like they're going to be all right.
And they'll get the Texas tomorrow would get the loser of the, or Wednesday would get the loser of tonight's Georgia-Oklahoma game. So, North Carolina feeling good right now. They're in the driver's seat.
North Carolina's played well.
Yeah. They don't play again until Wednesday. So
Yep. 2-0.
Yep.
Sitting pretty.
Looking good.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And if Georgia wins, sitting pretty.
And I think they will. I mean, Oklahoma, I don't know, man. Oklahoma's playing good football.
Playing good football.
They're playing good baseball, too. Anyway, we'll see. All right, let's get into this because we need lawyers to help us, and I'll try not to get a whole lot of legalese in here. In fact, I know I won't. Don't worry. But there are two different things to tell you about in the Brendan Sorsby situation out Texas Tech Big 12 way. First off, and this one surprised me a little bit. Not so much that they did it, Terry, but because maybe they don't need to do this yet. But first, when I say they, the Big 12, went to federal court today in Dallas and asked for a declaratory judgment and injunctive relief. And that would allow them, the Big 12, to use their authority as necessary that's in their bylaws if they want to punish Texas Tech in the future. Now, this comes on the heels of the Attorney General of the state of Texas basically threatening the Big 12, saying last week that any sanctions imposed by the Big 12 would be unlawful and would be countered with some form of legal action from the AG. Now, to me, that and one of the things that the Big 12 is saying is, well, wait a minute. That means basically any kind of punishment we ever tried to put on a member for breaking one of our rules or going against our bylaws would be seen as illegal in your eyes. Like, that's not how this works.
Right.
And to one of the points that you've been making the whole time is, didn't you all come up with these together? Which, of course, that's a rhetorical question because it's an easy answer. The difference for me on this, and this is my opinion now, and again, I'm no lawyer, but I'm not trying to be a lawyer here, is, and this isn't me defending Texas Tech either, maybe kind of playing devil's advocate, they hadn't done anything yet. Like, in other words, Brendan Sorsby hasn't played. I mean, what I might now, but again, I suppose you got to go ahead and get out ahead of this.
Right.
But, even the state of Texas didn't do anything yet. So I don't know, Terry, how this would work. I guess my point is, until such time as we see Brendan Sorsby take the field and throw a pass, take a snap even. Let's put it that way. Take a snap. Then you've played, right?
Yep.
Against Houston in Game 3, you can technically argue, well, Texas Tech, hadn't done anything. And so again, I believe me, I don't want to sit here and sound like I'm going, oh, hey, so cut Tech some slack.
You're trying to look at this from a legal standpoint, not from, like, the other standpoints we all look at.
Yeah, but, like, you haven't technically done anything yet. Now, Sorsby has, and then we'll get to the NCAA part of this, but from a Big 12 perspective, I guess their outrage. I think everyone's outrage, or however you're feeling about it, is the fact that Texas Tech hasn't stepped up automatically and said he's not playing. They've said he is, right?
Basically, I think that's what's got so many people.
Except for Coach McGuire, hey, look, it's too early. I don't have to make my starting lineup
exactly.
yet. I'm like, okay.
I mean, so many people.
No, you don't have to. You're right.
You don't have to, because I'm sure if we saw your depth chart that you keep in your desk, and Sorsby's nowhere on that, right? I think what's gotten to what my uncle would always say, everybody's panties in a wad, is the fact that Texas Tech hasn't stepped up and said, no, this kid is ineligible because of what he did, and we're moving forward without him. That's what everybody wants, and that's not what they're getting.
And that's and in their filing, to your point, I'll back you up here. This is a quote from the filing. When one member institution allows a student athlete whose admitted conduct creates serious integrity concerns to compete in conference games for conference championships, the consequences extend beyond that institution. Texas Tech's decision to associate with, if not endorse, a student athlete in this manner will affect opposing schools, student athletes, fans, broadcast partners, conference standings, championship eligibility, and the public reputation of the Big 12 as a whole. Now, end quote. I saw some people react to that last part and go, oh my gosh, Big 12, are you serious? But I get where they're coming from, because if they don't do anything about this, if they stand by and go, well,
they're a member,
you know, what are we going to do? Like, he's just shoulder shruggy guy. No. So they're not wrong. There would be, you know, now a giant hit to your reputation.
Well, can I throw this at you? If you don't do this, especially in the world we live in today, your silence means you're agreeing with them or enabling them, or you're with them. So if you're the Big 12 and you truly aren't down with this, you've got to do something.
Right.
Because the last thing you want anyone to think, oh, yeah, we're cool with this. We're good.
Yeah. No.
Because they're not. And you shouldn't be.
Meanwhile, the NCAA today has also gone to court back in Lubbock, and they are asking a state court to basically put a stay on the injunction. In other words, not allow the injunction that was given to Brendan Sorsby to play out, and until such time as the case can be heard. In their request, they write, quote, the injunction obliterates the status quo. It destabilizes nationwide policies that protect competitive integrity. It invites others across the country to challenge NCAA decisions in court, as shown by recent rulings that are already citing this case as precedent. And it teaches all athletes that when you break the rules and receive discipline, the solution is not to take responsibility, but to find a different umpire. End quote. The NCAA has asked the Texas Appeals Court to hear this case by August the 28th. Again, the trial itself has been set for February, long after Brendan Sorsby would be done.
Doesn't matter anymore.
And that's all his attorneys
That's all
want
they
anyway.
care about.
Yeah, they don't want. They'll drop the case. But it'll still be seen as precedent, and that's the NCAA's
Save
point.
your Trinidad Chambliss. No one cares about going to court.
Yeah, it'll still be seen as something that can't, or that you can use in your defense.
Real quick, I did look this up because I learned how to just speak into the microphone and say, hey Google AI, help a brother out. About the supplemental draft.
Yep.
No, you cannot intentionally bypass the principal NFL draft to apply for the supplemental draft just because you want to. Under league and CBA rules, a player cannot voluntarily choose to skip the standard NFL draft to enter the supplemental draft.
Okay.
So he just can't walk away and say, I want to go to the supplemental draft, basically.
Right.
You got to go through the NFL draft process first. And then for whatever reason you can't, then you go through the supplemental. So he would have to go to the NFL draft.
Right.
So he can't do it. Now, if Texas Tech kicks him out of school or they deem him ineligible, then now he can move on to the NFL in the supplemental draft.
Well,
so in a way, he's kind of stuck in limbo too.
Yeah.
And not that I feel sorry for him, because I don't.
Right.
But I'm just saying, what's his best interest?
Well, and just to remind everybody, because I have come at this from the standpoint of all of you, just, or assuming that Brendan Sorsby is the quarterback at Texas Tech, who, while at Indiana, it's documented, placed at least 40 bets on his own team. And while there's no evidence to suggest he did anything to manipulate a game, because most of the bets were placed while he was not an active player, he was a redshirt, it's still against the rules. And one time is enough to be deemed ineligible. 40 is just, I don't know what.
No, that's
and on top of that, student athletes are not allowed to gamble on anything while they are in school, and it is known that he placed including by the way, this past semester at Texas Tech before he got caught, if you will, more than 9,000 bets that totaled at least $90,000.
I think that's too much.
Yeah, and again, if he does have a problem, get it fixed.
But that's a separate issue than what we're talking about.
It is. So we'll see where these things go next, but a lot of court action going on. Kevin Schnall, the new Gamecock baseball coach. More from him and Jeremiah Donati. You're listening to the Postgame Show. Love telling you about our friends at Integrated Media. Now is a fantastic time to call them, get ahead of the upcoming football rush, because there's always a football rush. But there's so much going on this summer to be able to watch as well. And it's not always about sports. I mean, it could be mostly about sports because that's what we all like, right? But, I mean, you got action movies and, fun movies, or maybe your kids want to watch their favorite cartoons, bigger and better than ever, or whatever you got. Or maybe you're a rom-com type. I don't know. Go watch, well, I can't say the name of it during an official commercial, but we were talking about a really good one that we like with one of our favorite comedic actors. So whatever you like, Integrated Media will make it better than ever. And maybe you want to take those things outdoors. How about an outdoor system that can be out there all the time? Speakers, TV, everything, and you don't have to worry about it. Whatever you want in home theater, 803-948-8327. Do what I've done. Work with the pros and my friends at Integrated Media.
Let's take a look at that traffic. A couple accidents. Griffins Creek Road at Bluff. Also Whaley Street at Park. I like this one. Intersection improvements, Jay Phillips.
That sounds nice.
That's at Bluff Road, at Bluff Industrial Road.
Okay, way down
And
there.
everything else is the long-term construction that we all love deeply.
That sounds like it's down near Bernie's Chicken.
I like that one, though, Jay.
Yeah.
Intersection improvements.
Go get some Bernie's while you're down there.
I lost my earbud. What?
I said, go get some Bernie's chicken while you're down there. It's down that way. Free plug for Bernie's.
Yeah, look
Great
at
chicken.
that. Maybe we should get some Bernie's chicken.
I like Bernie's. kind of making me hungry. Anyway, welcome back in. You know what? I haven't had some good old fried chicken in a while. I kind of need some. Just thinking about that. When is
You know
the
what's
last?
funny? Like in Baltimore, they got these places called Royal Farm stores,
Okay.
and they have become like specialized in chicken, and it's like people like go there now instead of KFC.
Sure.
Locally in Maryland.
I got you.
And I was in a Royal Farm yesterday because I was shoplifting, and
We believe you.
yeah, I'm not kidding. No, anyways,
he's
I'm
not,
in there,
He's not lying.
and I'm looking at the chicken, right? And they had, it's all. I said, "When's the last time I had some fried
Yeah,
chicken,
fried
man?"
chicken.
I love fried chicken.
Well,
I mean,
I'll tell you what's funny about that real quick is, and I don't mind saying this again. I just mentioned Bernie's great local place, and there's a lot of Rush's chicken is good local. Zesto chicken across the river is great. But I wanted some Publix chicken the other day. I say the other
That's
day.
really
It was
good.
like a month or so ago. So I go in right, and they're out because it's like all gone. So I had to settle for another thing that I like, which is a pub sub. Publix subs are
that
awesome.
chicken tender pub sub.
Well, I didn't get. I got
love
my
that one.
Boar's Head Ultimate on their 5-grain bread. And I just go ahead and tell everybody what my order is. But I wanted fried chicken. They were out. And I was like,
Their fried
of
chicken's
course
good.
They are.
I had a guy. I
I was
was
like, darn you, Publix, make me some chicken, please.
say, you know who I am?
Well, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That'll work. They'll go, who the hell are
Actually, they were making more there, but she was like, it'll be about 30 minutes. I was
You
like,
weren't
I
waiting.
don't have 30 minutes.
I was, I'd never had one of those chicken tender subs before. And like last year, I was at a powerlifting competition because I'm so huge.
Oh my
And
God, he's pulled his arms up.
Oh my God. And the guy said to me, he just had one of those subs, a chicken tender sub.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that sounds good. He goes, yeah, you got to get one of those. So
I've never had one, but I've had people that
I
do
got
love
one,
them.
man.
Yeah.
Real good.
Okay.
Real good. I totally
I'm
recommend
a creature of habit. It's either that or the Italian one.
You?
Yeah.
A creature of
I know,
habit?
right?
Stop it.
I know.
Not you.
All right, let's
let's
get into
Let me
more of this
reset
before we start
Let me
talking about
reset
fried
the
chicken
sound.
and everybody's.
Hey, stall while I reset the sound.
Okay, I'll do that. But everybody's going to get hungry, and we don't need that. But there is a lot of great local chicken out there. I'll say that much. And my friend Michael Harrison's mom, Miss Joanne, would always go and get the Bernie's little drumettes for tailgating,
Okay, we're good now.
and I'd eat about half of them. Then I'd have to
And they
apologize
didn't
to her
invite
every
you
game.
anymore,
Every
did
game.
they?
Oh no, they did. She
Way to mooch all the food. Nice
I did.
job.
She was great about that. She never once hollered at me.
To your face.
That's probably true. It's probably.
Quit bringing him. He eats all the food.
I was not. I was not one of her major food concerns. I'll just say that. Anyway, all right. Jeremiah Donati. One of the things that was talked about when it comes to Kevin Schnall isn't that a belief in his ability to coach, connect with players, etc. But he'd only been at Coastal for a little bit, and you take over for a great like Gary Gilmore. Are you someone that can come in now to Columbia and rebuild? Because unfortunately, as Gamecock fans know, and we all know, South Carolina is now in need of a rebuild. You shouldn't have been, but you are. Jeremiah Donati says Kevin Schnall is the guy.
I made this comment the other day. Someone was asking me, what kind of questions do you ask in a job interview? And I think, I want to get to know the guy in this case. And, the reality is I could ask you about X's and O's and what do you do in this count and all those things, but that's not, he's an elite coach. We know that. But what's it going to be like? I want to know how you process decisions. I want to know what's it going to be like in the trenches, right? What's it going to be like when times are tough or there's a tough decision that needs to be made? Because those, that's really more what the job is like. We're going to be on the field celebrating championships too, but I really wanted to get to know him as a person. He talked at length about his family, the relationships he has with his parents, and how important his dad was in his life, other relationships he has in baseball. We have a lot of connectivity. We know a lot of the same people. It's amazing how many people he knows in Gamecock Nation and just the connectivity he has in the state. So, it was really more to get a feeling for him, but what kept coming up over and over was his passion for not just the game of baseball, but for the University of South Carolina. But I see someone who's a real program builder, and we want to build this thing the right way. This is, yes, next year's important. We want to get this turned around. We want to have a good season next year, but I'm looking at this I'm looking out 10 years, and we want to build this the right way so we can sustain that success. And you got to have someone that's got a good short-term and long-term vision, and Kevin's vision was elite. I love the way he thinks about building his roster, building his
you go. Good stuff from Jeremiah Donati. I think, look, only time is going to tell us, and we've heard some more things about how their interviews went and the types of things that Kevin brought with him to really show Jeremiah Donati.
The binder, baby.
Yeah, like what he wants to do, how he does it. But this will be new for him too, and there's a lot of reasons when you and we played a cut earlier. We won't revisit it right this second, but we played a cut earlier from Coach Schnall that made mention where he makes mention of sitting side by side with Gary Gilmore for all those years, and that's as a player, an assistant, ultimately into associate head coach, with a more clearly defined and senior role on the staff. And look, when Kevin was in school at Coastal, they were not they weren't ready for what they became.
Right.
That took time, and it's not it's easy enough to just say go get some players, because I say it all the time, right? More good players. It's college sports, more good players, but it takes more. How are we going to develop them? Because you're still doing it. I mean, let's face it, they won the College World Series coming out of a years in the Big South into the Sun Belt. That's hard to do.
No, yeah, absolutely.
That's hard to do, because to go win the College World Series, and it's not a fluke.
No.
Yeah, this is not a one-off.
No, and got back a couple years later.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a one-off kind of thing. And even we can go back to Fresno State winning. Look, that's a bunch of kids from California that know how to play baseball. They come out of a smaller conference, but again, getting to Omaha, I don't have to tell any of you that are fans of the sport. Forget about the Gamecocks, fans of the sport. Once you get out there, it's hard. Look at Florida State and Mike Martin. It's hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so he's seen that. And that does matter. And you've seen others do it, and you'll have the resources. Look, let's call it the money, but the money to put into development, to put into facilities, to put into a budget to go find those kids.
Well, I think more importantly also is the coaches you bring in. I mean, we talk about it in football. You hire the wrong coordinators, you're screwed. I mean, we saw what happened here last year with the offense, not to be mean. I think when you hire the right people, because in college, the hitting instructor and the pitching coach are teaching. In the majors, they're suggestion coaches. A hitting instructor can't walk up to Aaron Judge and go change your stance. Right? You can't do that. But he's a really big human being. But it's just the idea in college, you're still teaching.
You can't do
hitting.
it to Ozzie Albies to make your point.
No, you can't. I mean, major league hitters. A major league hitter will be open to the hitting instructor if he's won for his last 60.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden
you can get down in the cage and watch some video, but they're working on technique. They're
your shoulder's opening too quick, or you're not striding. But it's different in college. You're still teaching. You're really still doing that with pitching and hitting, right?
Yeah.
So to me, you go out and get the best pitching coach, hitting instructor you can, hitting coach, whatever you want to call it, on the collegiate level. And I think that obviously bringing Matt Williams with him as a pitching coach is a phenomenal pull. And I think the dude you got from Wake Forest.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at Wake Forest's offensive numbers over his time there, you feel good about, to your point of development. You need good coaches to help develop, Jay. And I think they did well with those two guys.
They did. Bill Salento from Wake Forest, who, has 5 dozen guys that have gone on to at least play pro ball in some form, not all in the bigs. But
I mean, you guys first-round picks.
And again, that's
everything.
at Wake. I mean, so that's development.
Absolutely.
You and I talked about that. You look at Coastal, you look at Wake. They've been to Omaha. They've done good things, but they are not, from a budget perspective or a popularity perspective. Wake in the ACC is not North Carolina. It's not Clemson. It's not Florida State. It's not Miami.
Wake ain't making it rain.
No. You've got to do it differently. And Carolina can be. That's the beauty of finding the guys that can develop. Along with having a premier budget and experience.
You get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, and so when you do that.
Right. So you get the right people in place to go with the money you can spend, you're going to do okay.
Yeah.
That's the hope.
We'll have more from Jeremiah and from Kevin Schnall. Kevin Donati. I'm just putting them together.
Put them together.
That's right. Kevin Schnall as part of the Gamecock Notebook. We'll do a little Jay or Nay, and we'll couple it with a World Cup update next.
It is update time from that big tournament going on all across North America right now. Welcome back in. Jay Phillips here with you. Right now, final few minutes, Belgium and Egypt 1-1. This is a big game. Big game. Earlier today, though, and what is easily the most shocking result thus far of this tournament, a 0-0 draw between Spain, yes, the favorite to win this thing, co-favorites with France, and Cape Verde, a tiny island nation off the.
Now, is that where the Gilligan they got?
I don't know where they were, man. I think they
that
were.
Show lost.
They were somewhere in the Pacific. It might be more like that.
That
No,
show lost.
I think Cape Verde. I forget. I think they have a population of like 200,000 or 300,000. So, but it's off the coast of Africa. Used to be a Portuguese like territory. Now it's free country, independent. They're doing well. A lot of tourism. It's nice tropics, islands, beaches. But to go 0-0 with Spain, sir.
Pretty good.
I had it on, and Spain had chance after chance after chance. Cape Verde's got some 40-year-old dude who probably bartends as their keeper.
Looks like.
And he was
Looks like the dudes from Cocktail.
he was killing it, man. I couldn't believe it. He was making so many good saves.
I just picture Brian Brown, the old bartender from Cocktail that was like teaching Tom. I'm picturing Brian Brown just stand there in the goal.
This was a stunner, man. Because it's Spain, and if you're wondering what should Spain have done today, probably something like at least 4 or 5.
3-4-0, 3-4-5-0. Yeah.
I mean, for instance, yesterday, Germany beat Curacao, another beautiful island nation, 7-1.
It wasn't even that close.
It really wasn't.
No.
I mean, for a minute, like it was 1-0 Germany early. Then Curacao scored. Germany fell asleep for a second. Curacao scored. And it was 1-1, and it was awesome to watch those people going nuts, man.
Yeah.
And then Germany was like,
They
okay,
woke up.
we're back. And then they ended up winning, And so Spain probably should have done something like that. Maybe not 7-1. That's a lot.
But you made a really good point when you and I were yipping before the show about teams losing early in the round robin.
Spain will be fine.
Yeah.
This will wake them up, and they'll be fine. They'll be fine. But that wasn't supposed to happen today. Later tonight, we've got Saudi Arabia and Uruguay. That's just me saying it that way. And tonight, Iran and New Zealand. The Saudi-Uruguay game will be in Miami, and Iran-New Zealand will be in L.A. So there you go.
Nice.
Yeah. USA plays again on Friday against Australia. We'll be out at the Bulldog for that. Since, of course, this is Monday, USA did get their tournament going on Friday with a very, very impressive 4-1 win over Paraguay.
Yeah.
Really looked good doing it. Very excited about that. I thought that the United States was in full control. Paraguay had one moment. USA just kind of, again, maybe a little lapse in defense, kind of played a little amoeba soccer and allowed a nice little pass to get through for a goal. But other than that, and they had one late to push back to 4-1. So
now I'll ask you, because again,
okay.
you're the soccer guy on this little shindig we have. How impressed were you with the U.S.?
I want to be careful in that a lot of people were saying that's the best half of football I've seen from the United States soccer team, and and I'm like, but you know what, Terry, it might have been.
Really?
Yeah, at least not ever.
But in recent times,
since the new coach Pochettino came in, because he's juggled the lineup and he's tried to find the right guys and there's been a lot of people keep complaining there's no chemistry and I think that's a fair criticism.
Well, how do you get chemistry, Jay?
You got to keep playing with each other and they finally did. And the last couple of friendlies they've had that lineup out there and they're good, man. Look, they're not. United States isn't going to win the World Cup, okay? And I love America. The United States isn't going to win the World Cup. But I'd like to think if they continue to have that feeling about them over the next 3 or 4 games, getting out of this group, winning this group, beating Australia, beating Turkey later on, because Turkey's pretty good, and they got beat by Australia. That was kind of an upset. That the United States could win a game or two in the knockout phase and maybe get to the quarterfinal.
How cool would that be?
That'd be all right. I'm not predicting it. I mean, certainly you got to get out of the group.
Right.
And because of the expanded format, I think you need to win a game like in the round of 32. You need to get to 16.
Right.
You need to get to 16 if you're USA.
Right.
And then you start to take your chances because by then you'll be matched up with somebody who's probably pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean,
But they played really well.
I just think the way it's gone for a long time in the World Cup, to see them, I guess, do what they did, stunned a lot of people. Oh my God!
They just, winning was one thing. Winning with that level of control
and
is
in a
another.
convincing fashion.
And listen, Paraguay had beaten Argentina and Brazil. They're good.
Yeah,
Paraguay's good. We'll see y'all at the Bulldog on Friday. Thanks to the Bulldog for helping sponsor this, and we'll have more updates all week long. But that was fun. Headlines coming up.
All right, we added a couple of other accidents to the list. We still have the Whaley at Park. Also, Griffins Creek Road at Bluff, Gadsden Street at Hampton, Harbison Boulevard at Columbiana Drive as well, and Leesburg Road at Patterson. Pop back in here, 5 o'clock news sponsored by Integrated Media. Get you caught up on what's going on. You hear some Kevin Schnall. A lot of sports the last few days. Pretty good for mid-June. We got it all coming up next here on the Postgame Show with Jay and Terry here on the Game Network, at the Game TV Radio, on YouTube.
It is 5 o'clock news time here on this Monday, also the final hour of the postgame show. Welcome back in alongside Terry Ford. I'm Jay Phillips. We start with some troubling news around Gamecock football. Running back Sam Williams-Dixon and his younger brother, Elijah, have been charged with multiple counts of larceny and criminal conspiracy. He was arrested on Saturday. He transferred from Ohio State during the offseason and has a few years of eligibility left. But according to warrants from Carolina police, Dixon and his brother allegedly broke into multiple vehicles last week, twice at 650 Lincoln, which is down near Colonial Life Arena and is home to several USC athletes. Another location was called Gateway 737 down in the area that is also home to USC athletes. During one of those break-ins at 650, the police documents say the two stole a chain worth $6,000, a Gucci watch worth $2,000, a pair of shoes, Rick Owens, valued at $1,400, as well as other items. The other two, there was no list of potential items that were stolen. We spoke with David Cloninger of the Post and Courier about Williams-Dixon's arrest earlier, and while David did not have definitive information, he is not the only one that is reporting now that future status could be certainly in jeopardy. But at this point in time, Shane Beamer, Jeremiah Donati have not made any official designation on this young man. And he did get out on bond, he and his brother, over the weekend.
Well, I'll say this. Obviously, I wasn't there, and we don't have official word, but feels like he will not be on the football team this fall, Jeff.
Well,
we'll see.
From what David learned, and I didn't cite it there, but from what David learned, this was a teammate's vehicle. Now, I won't disagree with David that I wouldn't leave $10,000 worth of merchandise in my vehicle, but at the same, that doesn't really matter. You don't go.
It's in my vehicle.
Yeah, you don't go breaking into anybody's car, but so that's one thing. And this is a little bit of an opinion here, but beyond that, you don't go breaking into a teammate's car because the trust and camaraderie that's needed amongst a team for someone to know you broke into my car.
Well,
man.
that's the end of that.
Yeah, like they're not gonna. You got nothing.
No one trusts you.
No, nobody
on the football team.
Nobody.
You can't have that because again, especially when you're trying. Look, Shane is big on culture.
Yeah,
we hear it all the time. Family and culture. And you can't. If family and culture don't equal, I'm going to break into your car if you have some good stuff.
Yeah.
So again, we have nothing official, but if I was dropping if I was going to the prediction market, Jay Phillips,
right,
I would think that our guy will no longer be on the team at some point.
Yeah, I think that's a safe assumption. But again, nothing official.
Nothing official
at this point in time. So we will keep our eye on that one. In the meantime, Gamecock Baseball officially introduced Kevin Schnall to the Carolina family on Friday night over at Founders Park. A helicopter entrance with Cocky in the outfield, fireworks and fun for the kids and posters and T-shirts and hot dogs and sodas. And Kevin Schnall saying to the crowd, it is time for you guys to help get us back where we need to be.
Gamecock Nation, it's time. It's time to get the vibe and energy back in this place. Together, let's make Founders Park one of the most electric environments in all college baseball. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for welcoming us. It's been felt at an all-time level. We're very proud to say we're officially Gamecocks. Go Cox!
Kevin Schnall to the assembled crowd on Friday night. And again, when the place is rocking, it's amongst the most intimidating in all of college baseball. Unfortunately, for the last few seasons, that has simply not been the case. Not been the case. I feel like the last time it was like what you want it to be was that weekend where Paul Skeens came to town.
I was going to say the same. When Petrie hits the home run off of Skeens.
And I think was that 4 seasons ago now?
Yeah.
That feels like the last time where it
remember,
was.
they were both top 5. South
Yeah.
Carolina and LSU were top 5. One game got rained out.
Yeah.
And they split them.
Yeah.
And that first game, I believe South Carolina won that first game was when Petrie took Skeens' yard.
Yeah.
That was.
And it feels like that's the last. Now, not saying that there haven't been good environments since then when Clemson's come to town or something like that, but it just feels like that was the last time it was like that.
Put this. That's one of the last times. I'm like you. Maybe I could think of if I really sat down and
We could look
racked
back.
my brain.
Yeah.
But that one, that place was so crazy you could hear it coming through the speakers of your car.
Right.
That was the thing that night, man.
Yeah. We'll have a lot more from Coach Schnall and Jeremiah Donati as part of the Gamecock Notebook, but some more good things here, especially for those of you who want to learn a little bit more about how Kevin Schnall will approach the baseball part of things. Stay tuned for the Notebook coming up, because in about 10 or 12 minutes, we'll have some good stuff from Kevin Schnall for you. Continuing our integrated media headlines of the day, we mentioned this earlier in the show, but if you missed it, 2 big court filings today in Texas over the future of Brendan Sorsby and potentially punishments against Texas Tech should Brendan Sorsby play later this season. Again, Sorsby is the quarterback who bet on his own team while at Indiana on 40 separate occasions. In addition to that, he bet on other sports while he was at the University of Cincinnati, which is on Cincinnati sports, which is another clear violation of NCAA rules. And most student athletes are not allowed to bet on virtually any sport. And it is known now through his own admissions that Brendan Sorsby likely placed more than 9,000 different bets over the last 4 or 5 years while an enrolled student athlete at NCAA member institutions. But last week in Texas, a local judge granted him an injunction which would allow him to play until his case is heard. That case has been set for trial in February, and by the time that trial would be heard, he will be done with his collegiate career, and a lot of this would be moot. And so the Big 12 today and the NCAA first went to a Texas appellate court and asked for an expedited hearing on this, while also asking for a stay of the injunction. So in other words, don't let that injunction go into effect. We would ask this court rather to pause that, not allow him to play until the case can be heard, or for you to make some type of expedited ruling. Meanwhile, the Big 12 went to federal court after being threatened last week by the Attorney General of the state of Texas, and in their filing, they said that the threats that the Texas Attorney General have thrown out there, basically saying if you punish Texas Tech for anything about Brendan Sorsby, we're coming after you as a state government with a bunch of antitrust violations. And their argument is, well, wait a minute. This is the only way we can do it. You would basically mean any punishment of any form against any member would do that,
right.
In which case, how do we punish anybody for anything? They have now the backing, does the Big 12, of the attorneys general of Oklahoma and Kansas. And I got a hunch more may be coming. We don't know that yet, but you got Colorado, Arizona, Utah, help me out, Terry, Iowa, Ohio, and Florida that are also members.
You nailed it.
Okay.
Yep.
Of
Yep,
your
yep.
Conference. So,
Yeah,
again, whether all those AGs come out or not, I have no idea. But right now, it's 15-1. By the way, I do have new information.
Okay.
This is a brand new statement from the Big 12 that came down about a half hour ago. So I'll read this. Last night, the Big 12 filed a legal complaint asking a federal court to protect the constitutional and contractual rights of the conference and our member institutions to take actions expressly permitted under our bylaws. The Big 12 has long spoken out about the dangers of sports wagering by student athletes and remains committed to protecting the competitive integrity of conference competition. Universities should not field players who have bet on their own team's games in college athletics. This situation is evolving with pending legal matters and the upcoming start of the football season, and the conference hopes for a timely resolution of these issues. The board continues to keep all options on the table. Again, that was released about a half hour ago, so their board did meet again today. As it stands, basically, y'all, this is a 15-1 feeling. There's been no official votes taken.
Right.
But the word out of these meetings is that this is a 15-1 situation against Texas Tech.
two things. One, we were talking about this last week, is look, Texas Tech has got to realize something. Yes, they fell into some money. Yes, they found a sugar daddy. That's great. But can we go back to the fact you're Texas Tech? Let's just get back to that for a minute. And right now, you're fighting against the entire conference. And the second thing is here, I want to go to the state of Colorado Attorney General named Deion Sanders.
Oh, yeah, Deion has said something.
Quote, somebody's gambling on a sport they're playing. You don't think something's wrong with that? Bam.
Right.
I mean, forget all the legalese and the mumbo jumbo and all this other stuff. Somebody's gambling on a sport they're playing. Don't you think something's wrong with that? It's that simple.
Right.
Deion just laid it out very easy for everyone.
So we'll say, again, Texas Tech could make this go away.
Sure they can.
By simply going to Brendan Sorsby and going, son, we love you. We're going to support you.
Mm-hmm.
You can basically be an assistant coach on the team this year.
Yeah, we'll get you through it.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll help you get all the things done here, therapy and your school and finish and graduate and all those things. But you can't play football.
Right. And if you truly look, and I'm trying to say this without laughing because I know they don't, they care about getting Brendan Sorsby on the field so they can win games. But if you truly cared about him and his addiction issues and his problems and what he's going through, that's exactly what you would say to him. Because you know what? You know what really helps mental health? Putting you on a field with about 98,000 people from the opposing team on a road game screaming at you.
Well,
and the minute you throw an interception, everybody on social media is asking you to take the under.
And I know that most people can have a thick enough skin, but Terry, and to your point, and I imagine we'll talk more about this as the season nears. But the vitriol from opposing fans is going to be brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't just be during the game. They'll be lining up when the bus rolls into town, wherever the team hotel might be, when he's getting off the bus, on the bus, warm-ups, during the game, post-game, back at the team, hell, some of these places will, go meet you at the local airport where you're getting on the charter.
Yeah, be like the Yankees.
I mean,
fans.
it'll be, the things, even if you won't see any of it, what comes on social media towards the school and it's going to be brutal. It's going to be, and you talk about mental health, and again, maybe it won't matter to him at all. Maybe he'll just, you know what,
maybe.
put your beats on, and you can't hear any of it anyway, and that's fine. But it's still going to be brutal. So
no, it's going to be massively nasty.
Yeah.
So if
at some point you can't have your beats on.
No, and you're going to hear things and you're going to see things, and so if truly we have a mental health issue here that we're being told, I don't think putting that young adult in that situation is really good for someone's mental health if they're having problems.
Right.
Jay.
So.
Just saying.
We'll see where it goes next, but two major filings in different courts today. Again, one in federal court from the from the Big 12, and one in state court. From the NCAA. So we will see where that goes next here in the coming days. Meanwhile, some bad news for Braves fans. Not only have the Braves lost, I think, 4 out of their last 5. But the Braves also had to shut down Spencer Strider today. If there is a silver lining with Spencer Strider's arm, is that there are no tears, only severe inflammation. But he will be shut down for at least a month. He visited with his surgeon, Dr. Keith Meister, who did his surgery last year, and he said nothing wrong there. Scan is clear, inflamed. We're going to shut him down for a month, and then he'll begin a light throwing regimen. So he won't be back in a month. Might be back in about 6 weeks.
Well, the sad thing for Spencer Strider is, and sometimes we see, and you've seen this, and sometimes when guys throw very hard with high effort, these things just happen.
Yeah.
I mean, you're violently using body parts in a way they're not meant to be used. And when you throw, and in today's baseball, pitchers, everything is high effort, high intensity. Everything's about velocity, hard spin rate. Everything is about, you are maxing out your effort on every pitch pretty much anymore. And sometimes your body can't handle it. What are the other things you do in the world that are like throwing a baseball, motion-wise with your arm?
Yeah.
And when you're throwing it the way Spencer Strider does, that's what's frustrating and sad, because when healthy, Spencer Strider's really good, dude.
That's our integrated media headlines of the day. Gamecock Notebook with more from Kevin Schnall next. Cato's Power Equipment, home to so much great stuff to make your yard look great. Again, whether you do it for yourself, you do it for a living, the pros at Cato's can put you in the right equipment to get the job done every single time. Ben, Matt, the entire crew ready to help you out. They've been doing this since the mid-'80s. And Ben Cato, now the third-generation family owner of Cato's Power Equipment. That's where I get all my stuff. I go in the showroom. They redid it last year. It looks absolutely fantastic. You get to see it, feel it, hold it. If it's a riding mower, you can sit there and kind of get an idea what it's like. They even got those cool, like stand-on mowers. It's like something out of, sci-fi movies, man. If I could use one of those in my yard, I would. I don't quite need that, but you might, and it'll certainly help you get it done if you are a professional. So, again, whether you're professional, whether it's private, out on a campus somewhere, Cato's has everything you need to get the job done, and, of course, for the homeowner, too. 4012 West Beltline Boulevard, always online at catospowerequipment.com.
Carolina embodies everything great about college baseball. Championship tradition, unbelievable fan base, and an athletic administration and university that is committed to excellence. As a coach, we've always wanted to measure ourselves against the best. The SEC is the major leagues of college baseball.
Kevin Schnall on why he wants the South Carolina job. Welcome back in. It is Gamecock Notebook time. Jay and Terry with you on this Monday. Kevin Schnall officially introduced after flying in a helicopter. I'm not sure from where. I'm assuming like Owens Field over to to the ballpark or somewhere, maybe across the river at the airport. I don't know. Regardless, he and Cocky flying over,
hanging out together.
David Cloninger said
Cocky
it was a
sitting there.
little bit like a movie for a minute.
So who's piloting this baby?
Cocky.
That's when it's funny. You're Schnall. It's one thing to have Cocky sitting next to you.
Sir
get
Big
in,
Spur.
It starts to take off, and you look up, and there's a dude in mascot gear flying in.
Hey, what are we doing here?
That would inject some serious confidence in yourself.
Yeah. Before we let you hear from Kevin Schnall on kind of how he wants to approach, really the game on a regular basis and what he's doing with his staff, here's Jeremiah Donati on how he, as AD, and his first big hire, found the right guy.
We wanted to find someone that could come in and, put forth the standards that we've all come to know and love with this baseball program. Someone who, a person of high character, high integrity, someone who's going to do it the right way, someone who's done it, someone who's built programs and had success at the highest level. So when we started the process, this is how you hope every search would go, which is you're the best job in the market, and the outcome is you get the best candidate, you get the best fit. So we lucked out. We lucked out that Kevin was available and wanted to come here and come to South Carolina, and he certainly understood those expectations that come with being the head coach here, and they're lofty. And we wanted someone, I said this outside, we wanted someone that was going to run to that. But we had some great visits, including in person a couple weeks ago that I think we were going to meet for about an hour. We met at a clandestine location here in the state, and we ended up meeting for 3 hours. And candidly, we could have spent 3 more hours together. There was just kind of an instant chemistry, and it was very apparent he was the guy. He was going to be a great fit here, and so we just could not be more thrilled that he did accept the job, and he is our new head coach here at the University of South Carolina.
I was told, rumor has it was at Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's?
Yeah, in Florence.
Or has some brisket?
But I'm
sit
not,
down?
But maybe that's not
Get a t-shirt?
clandestine enough.
Get a T-shirt.
Buc-ee's is a little wide open.
Cleanest bathrooms in the state.
Anyway, listen, I don't know where it was, but it was not. It probably wasn't.
Well, the thing is, again, we were having fun with it earlier, but look, if you're doing like anything, if you are interviewing folks and you're looking to hire people, and someone walks in and throws a binder in front of you and says, "I just did 100 pages of analytical study about your baseball players. There it is. I've talked to your former interim head coach. I've talked to this guy as well, this person, and I did a lot of research. Here's what I think, and here's my plan.
Right.
Short-term, long-term, moving forward."
Right.
You go like this. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean you're going to automatically hire them.
No, but it shows a level of commitment.
It shows you're in. You want the gig, right?
Right.
Because if you came in, and you're wearing Crocs, you got some of those man capris on, you got that, got your cool beach shirt.
Wait, what? What's wrong with Crocs and man capris?
Oh, nothing unless you're interviewing for a gig.
Oh.
When's the last time you interviewed for a job, Phillips?
It's been a while. I'm very fortunate.
Exactly.
Although I feel like I'm interviewing for a job every day, at least I'm still here. Right? So in some respect.
If a guy walks in.
But by the way, how many, that's one of the things about media days, and I want to move on here, but like some of the people in our business.
I know.
I'm like, dude, I know there's no, now there's cameras everywhere, but some of the guys in our business at media days, I'm like, bro, you're in public, right?
Remember our first year when I went with you? It was Dallas 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're like, look over there. Look at that guy. Just roll out of bed. What the hell is he wearing pajamas
some
for?
of these guys, man. And I'm like, anyway.
But that's my point, really quick. Back to the point is when you sit down and you bring that kind of research to the table, you tell me you're serious.
Yeah.
And we go from that starting point of, oh, man, you're serious, let's go. And then they spend 3 hours together. That's always a good sign.
Sure.
So, you can just look, fit's such an important thing. I know it sounds another cliche like culture, but you want the right fit. Some people are great coaches and managers, Jay. They're just not the right fit.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that happens a lot. On that note, what might have been in that binder? Cut 12, please, sir. Here's Kevin Schnall on part of his philosophy and approach to coaching baseball.
It's a big part. Matt Pepin will be our director of analytics. He's also our general manager. Ultimately, what does he do is he provides us information, and we're going to utilize that information from a development standpoint. So we will use analytics at a very high level. Exactly what our staff looks like, that's still to be determined. But I can assure you that we're going to have an elaborate staff, and our goal is to, and I believe that we will, we're going to put together a staff that would rival any coaching staff in the entire country. And you're only as good as the people that you surround yourself with. As the head coach, the one thing that I know is when you have success, you get a chance to hold the microphone. People tend to give you the credit. Well, I can tell you as the head coach, I play a very small role in it. You got to surround yourself with elite people, which we're going to do, which we've done in the past, and we're going to do that again here, and that's going to lead us to success.
Kevin Schnall on analytics and the modern approach to the game. Listen, we talked about this earlier. When you look at guys like Bill Salento, who he hired, Matt Williams, who he hired, Matt's coming with him from Coastal. Matt was already here once, so he knows the SEC and did a nice job. Bill Salento's been at Wake Forest for
big on analytics.
They're huge, huge on them, especially at Wake.
Yep.
Where, again, you don't have some of the financial resources, and you might not have some of that just overall name cachet. Right. Again, in the ACC, just looking at Coach Salento, you're not North Carolina with a bunch of World Series trips. You're not Clemson, who's been to the World Series, I think, a dozen times. Even in Elliott Avent and NC State, certainly Miami, Florida State. These are premier. I mean, ACC baseball is fantastic. Wake has had to take a different approach through analytics and development. Coastal is in the Sun Belt, and yet they've played for 2 national championships in the last 10 years. Coach Gilmore, along with Coach Schnall, had to take a different approach. And it's not to say that coaches although some people have said to me, Jay, do you think LSU really did just load up on great players? Yeah. Maybe.
That's a good part of it,
at least back in the day, and it certainly matters. I mean, look, you got to know certain things, but today's approach with so much more parity too.
Sure.
You've got to find ways to separate yourself. So it's not to say that South Carolina is going to suddenly become a school or a program at least that feels like it is Wake Forest or Coastal, because it doesn't. That's part of the problem.
Right.
Is that it doesn't feel that way about itself, and it spends money the way it's always spent money, and it wants to be great like it's always wanted to be great, but for a variety of reasons, that money has been misspent or the feeling has turned into something else. So South Carolina does not think, oh, you know what we got to do? No, but when you take the approach of South Carolina's largesse and couple it with an approach of development analytics, then you should get back to where you want to be.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
long? I don't know. Because, listen, again, Georgia's good. Florida's good. Tennessee's good.
Yeah.
Bama's good. Auburn's good. Mississippi's good. Mississippi State's good.
Just got to give you a lot of money doesn't mean you're going to spend it right.
Right.
I mean, and that's what's happened here the last couple of years. You've gotten money, you just haven't spent it right.
Right.
Now, I mean, I love the idea of a GM slash, head of analytics. I mean, never had a GM here. I love the idea that you're bringing in people who can develop this talent and can use the technology out there for everyone and turn that into, hey, here's what you need to do.
Right.
I think it's great.
I do too. That's the Gamecock Notebook. We'll come back on the other side with a drive around the SEC. And one SEC team is moving on in Omaha, but that means one is going home. We'll tell you who. Part of the drive around next.
Couple accidents to get to here. 277 northbound at Fontaine Road, also Killian Road at Faro, and of course, my new favorite, intersection improvements. Bluff Road at Bluff Industrial Road, and obviously our long-term construction projects. I-26 between Bush River Road and Old Sandy Run Road. I-20 between Sunset Boulevard and Bush River Road. And Broad River Road between I-26 and Dutch Fork Road. Drive around the SEC coming up next here on the Postgame Show with Jay and Terry on the Game. Game Network at the Game TV Radio on YouTube.
It is Drive Around the SEC time here on a Monday. Welcome back in. Jay and Terry with you. College World Series is well underway now out in Omaha. And once again, 5 Southeastern Conference schools participating. But a couple of them have already gone home. Let's get you caught up on the entire weekend's action. First off, on Friday, North Carolina over Mississippi 6-2. West Virginia beat Troy 7-5. Saturday, an all-SEC affair. First game, Oklahoma blanked Alabama 9-0 on 11 hits, by the way, for OU. And then Georgia comfortably getting past Texas 7-1. Georgia really in control all day. And Volchko went a complete game, 4 hits, 1 run.
Was it 14 strikeouts?
15 strikeouts, just 1 walk, and the run was unearned. He was beyond brilliant.
That is like massively dominant.
Yeah, just beyond brilliant for him. So Georgia won that one, and then yesterday we had our first elimination game. Troy beat Mississippi 12-8, so Ole Miss goes home. And last night in the winners bracket game, North Carolina beat West Virginia by a count of 5-2. Today, again, it's the all-SEC side of the bracket. Bama and Texas just wrapped it up. Texas a little hacked off, and Bama just went ice cold in Omaha. Texas 14-2, and that one just ended about 10 or 15 minutes ago. So Texas over Alabama 14-2. Texas moves on in the losers bracket. They will get the loser of tonight's Georgia-Oklahoma game. That one starts at 7 o'clock.
I feel like Oklahoma's just flown under the radar like all year.
Yeah, a little bit.
We haven't talked about them a ton.
A little bit.
And now all of a sudden you look up and go, hey, they're in Omaha playing Georgia.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And look, Oklahoma's 30. They're now 39-22. So they've been winning during the playoffs, and that's where they are.
I mean, they took Alabama. They moved on now, and they get Georgia, and who knows? Because it's baseball, right?
Right.
But I tell you, Oklahoma's. You look up and you go, well, they're back in Omaha again. How about those guys?
Yeah. So tonight, again, Georgia and Oklahoma. Tomorrow, West Virginia and Troy at 2 o'clock. And, again, the losers from tonight, the losers from tonight will play tomorrow. So there you go. Then we got tonight's loser and – hang on, I got to get back to it now. Where was I? Well, now the computer's over here locked
and plus,
up.
too, look, I got the bracket right in front of me too. I mean, you got to navigate this bracket, man.
Yeah, Oklahoma. No, they play Georgia. Who am I missing, Terry?
Okay, go back again.
Oh, Texas.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, Texas gets tonight's loser. I just said that.
Right.
Sorry, I was on the wrong page.
And Texas moves on after tonight.
Yeah, there you go. That's
And they get either Georgia, Oklahoma, whoever loses.
I actually try to know what I'm doing here most of the time. But again, a lot of SEC teams. And like I said, I think Georgia beating Texas the other night, inside track. Don't have to come out of that loser's bracket just yet. So really feel good about Georgia's chances of, at bare minimum, getting into the look, it's easy enough to say Georgia versus North Carolina, but they feel like that's where we're headed. But we'll find out.
Feels that way, doesn't it?
But Georgia, Oklahoma tonight at 7 o'clock. Big news coming out of Lexington. That's not ours, but Kentucky. Jay just one letter, J. Sounds like my name, but he doesn't use any other letters. Is the new athletics director at UK, Terry. And this, to some, including Tom Izzo, is a very big deal. Jay Batt just got hired up there less than 2 years ago. He was at Georgia Tech before that. He went to North Carolina and has been at a couple of schools in the ACC in associate roles before he was the AD at Tech, and actually got a big fundraising plan going at Tech, did a nice job, did the same thing at Michigan State. But Michigan State apparently has some real big issues.
Yeah, the president.
Overall, their president just left for Clemson.
Yeah, Izzo's not happy.
No, and today he made that abundantly clear. But again, Jay Batt being hired at Kentucky today. But on that note, Izzo said there's other dominoes that get affected when things go wrong like that. I'm very upset about it, and I'm sick of it. So strong words coming from Tom Izzo.
Isn't he looking up at the higher ups in East Lansing saying, why are we losing the people that are of quality that we need to keep?
Something's going on. You know what it is, I don't know, and I won't purport to know. But when Tom Izzo is ready to go public the way he did today.
Yeah, that was my thing. Look, Izzo's not that dude.
No.
Let's just be honest. You can like Tom Izzo, not like Tom Izzo. That's not his MO. So my guess is Tom Izzo's voice has been heard internally.
Right.
And no one's listening, and people are still leaving. So now he decided, you know what? Let me find some microphones and start talking.
Kentucky released a statement today that said, despite this period of ongoing change, we remain in the opportunity business, creating opportunities for student athletes to compete and win championships, earn degrees, and prepare for life after sport. Jay Batt himself said in a statement released through UK, we couldn't be more excited to join the University of Kentucky in Big Blue Nation. The championship standard has been established at Kentucky, and we are committed to upholding that standard of excellence. As I said, he was the former AD at Georgia Tech. He promoted Brent Key to head coach and really part of Tech's problems were just money management, which is, again, key to so many athletic departments these days. I mean, and he did a really nice job at Georgia Tech. Michigan State wanted him to do the same thing. And apparently, by all accounts, at least in a short amount of time, he started a brand new fundraising initiative and sort of one of those, my words here, Terry, kind of not side businesses that schools have, but, the internal
That's almost the best way. That's the best way to describe it. Kind of it's become like a side business.
Yeah, I mean, it's, and I think, but Kentucky needed somebody like that because.
But Kentucky's doing a lot of cool stuff too right now when it comes to them to like you're talking about the side business. Part of this.
Yeah.
But maybe that's the thing with when you leave a gig that fast, like him leaving Michigan State to go be the AD at Kentucky. Maybe it's as simple as this. Ready? They gave me more money. B, I've always loved to roll around the bluegrass and I love horses and I love bourbon. Or maybe there's something to wanting to leave Michigan State after being there 2 years, going, you know what? I don't think this is. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Well, considering that their president left for Clemson, I think inside of 2 years,
you start feeling instability,
and then an AD leaves inside of 2 years.
Can I ask you this? Usually, what's above the president and the AD, sir?
Well, the board. Yeah.
Should we move on now?
Something likely going on.
Yes.
Jay Batt has worked, as I said, at East Carolina, Maryland, William & Mary, and at North Carolina, where he played soccer and went to school about 25 years ago. Mitch Barnhart, 24 years in the gig as the AD at UK.
Well, I tell you, they turned Mitch out quick after that bogus job thing.
Yeah, well, that was, Well, because when the governor comes out and says, what are we, we're paying him how much? And we don't even know what he's doing.
And it was like, never mind. And then it was like, okay, Mitch.
Well, here's the thing. Mitch will still, at my words here, I kid a little bit here, he'll still consult.
Yes, he won't. He'll have an office in the athletic department that, by the way, is cobwebs.
Yeah. Now, it might not be, they just won't pay him $1 million salary.
They'll give him some.
You get a check or two every now and then.
I'll put it this way. I don't think you're going to be going to the local Sonic and seeing Mitch flipping burgers.
No, you won't. You might see him eat some.
Because he's going to have enough money.
Yeah. Or getting one of those, you ever had with that, what's the lemon berry slush? You ever had one of those?
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, I think it's good.
They're milkshakes.
Yeah.
I tell you, I will say this. I am a smash burger freak.
Yeah.
That smash burger's underrated.
I hadn't had one yet.
It's interesting. It's better than you would think.
All right.
Just telling you.
I do like their shakes. And
shakes are so good.
It's not an icy, that lemon berry
No,
thing.
I know what you're talking about.
But it's really good, man.
Yeah. I tell you what, I like when they have that summer special in the milkshakes, like on like Fridays or something.
Sure.
We give them for half price or whatever.
You just get two
Dude,
of
that's dinner. That's dinner, my friend.
the dinner of champions. That's the drive around the SEC. I don't know what Terry has for Jay versus the internet because all the betting stuff's over.
We'll come up with something.
We'll figure a way.
We'll figure out something.
All right, that's next. Welcome back in. Final few minutes of the program on this Monday. Jay and Terry with you. Scott is coming up next. By the way, Terry Ford, did you see that you were asking me during our World Cup update about the U.S. win and what that might mean for them? And I say, well, I think, certainly we're very dominant. They were also dominant on television, the average over the course of the match on Friday night. 24.88 million.
That's fantastic.
That's big. That's like college football playoff numbers.
We love big events and we love being patriotic.
Yeah.
We jump in. And plus, what I think is also great is that they finally learned how to, get better at measuring audience, this Nielsen crew.
Right.
You notice every sport is up because they finally decided, you know what? People watch this stuff in a lot of places.
Well, think of the watch parties, and where that wouldn't even have counted. And I mean, you're looking at some of these watch parties with, I don't know if they're counting they had one at L.A. Coliseum at the Olympics obviously they had the game in L.A. at SoFi. So I don't know if they count the people is that a television?
One TV,
for 40,000 people at, or like the big park in Kansas City where they were watching, or wherever else. Look, and these are all estimates, but nevertheless, basically 25 million on average.
Yeah, it's
on a Friday night in this country. That's not bad.
Oh, it's fantastic, and I think it's great. I just think it's great too how we're finally seeing how many people in this country are actually watching sporting events on TV.
Right.
Everybody's up.
Good stuff.
I love it.
Good stuff.
I love it. Oh, man.
And again, coming up in a few, in Miami, it's Saudi Arabia and Uruguay.
I just like how you say that. I hope they keep winning.
Well, they hadn't played yet.
All of them keep winning anyway.
All right. What do you got for me?
Speaking of that game, who wins?
I'll take Uruguay to win.
Taking Uruguay? No, you didn't say it right.
Uruguay.
There we go, Uruguay. All right, so you're taking Uruguay over Saudi Arabia?
I am. I don't think that'll
be out on a limb there.
Well, the Saudis are getting better because they're trying anyway. But I got Uruguay.
Now, do the guys from the Live Tour play for Saudis? The Saudis, Phil Mickelson and all those cats play for Saudis.
Hey, Phil's in hiding, man.
Phil, from what we're reading, Phil needs to lay low. All right, Iran, or like my uncle would say, Iran, against New Zealand.
You know what? This is gonna. I know some people don't like this because of the way this sport gets played sometimes. I'm going draw in that game.
Draw.
Yeah.
Look at you.
I'm picking a draw.
So we're going draw and we're going
win for Uruguay.
No, it's not Uruguay. There you go.
Thank you.
All right, tonight baseball, college baseball World Series, Georgia, Oklahoma.
Georgia.
Going Georgia.
Although OU's playing well, man, but Georgia the other night. Listen, Georgia is scoring. And the other night they pitched. Well, one guy did, and he was brilliant.
If Georgia gets pitching, forget it.
I'm sticking with
in
Georgia.
a lot of ways.
Sticking with Georgia.
All right. State Games of Tennessee pickleball tournament. Gentry against Adelsberger. Who you got?
Please tell me you're making this.
No, I'm not.
What is this?
The State Games of Tennessee pickleball tournament.
Gentry
against Adelsberger. Who you got?
Give me Gentry.
Going Gentry?
Sure.
Why are you going Gentry, Jay? Just curious. What's your philosophy in pickleball?
Sounds more like a name that's going to win.
I had a neighbor named Gentry.
Yeah. Isn't there a country singer, Gentry?
Bobby Gentry. Didn't
why.
she sing Ode to Billy Joe back in the early 70s? My music radio days, I remember.
All right, I'll take your word.
You know what? I can't remember. I'm just throwing stuff against the wall at this point.
Okay.
If you could have sang me and Bobby McGee,
the State
I don't remember.
Games of Tennessee.
State Games of Tennessee.
Do they
pickleball.
have other sports?
No, just pickleball. State Games of Tennessee, just about pickleball, babe.
Because I mean, look, I'm from South Carolina, so I could sit here and make jokes about other states. But I mean, I'm not. I mean, we could have like an okra eating contest. Although I might do well in that with fried okra. But I'm thinking in Tennessee games, I'm thinking overall wearing, straw hat wearing.
There you go. That'd be good.
Whiskey shooting.
I was going to say, you got whiskey, whiskey shot contest. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and to all my friends that are from Tennessee, y'all think it too. So don't act like you.
Don't act all offended.
Yeah.
Don't give me that.
Because y'all would just come down.
offended.
Y'all would just come down here and say something about us.
That's okay. Everybody's got something.
You know, barbecue something or other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, you know,
Pig picking.
in Maryland, it's Glock shooting. In Baltimore,
Sure.
it's a Glock shooting.
In Baltimore
competition.
City.
In Baltimore City,
But out on the coast, crab eating.
crab eating.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So. Or other things that we might do.
We
here in
can't
South
talk
Carolina.
about them right now. No, we can't.
Not gonna-
That's the fourth hour. Got a bunch of those stories.
Do we have South Carolina State games? I mean, what are we?
Let me see if they got any pickleball tournaments here in South Carolina.
I've yet to play pickleball.
I won't.
I know people that do and they love it.
I know people who do and they love it too. I just haven't gotten there.
I'm not sure my knees are up for it.
I just haven't gotten there yet.
Not going to be. I'll be honest. I'm not sure my knees are up for pickleball. Not at my age. Not at my age. But anyway, all right, there you go.
I'm looking.
Well, I'm not going to.
I found the 2024 pickleball championship in South Carolina.
Okay. State games of tennis. That's all I can think of now.
Hey, nice pick with Gentry.
Thanks.
You did good.
Well, pulling for you. Do we know Gentry's name? First
This
name?
was A. Gentry.
Okay.
Alvin Gentry, maybe the former NBA head coach.
Yeah, it's probably not.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
How about that's all the Gentrys I've got,
Yeah,
man.
I think it's time for us to get out of here. 3, 2, 1. We will do it again tomorrow. Thanks to David
Tomorrow.
Cloninger. See you.
All right, let's get a quick check on the traffic. Stop and go in Lexington, I-26 westbound, right between I-126 exit 8A and 106. 277 northbound at Fontaine Road. We still have the accident there. Killian Road at Faro. Accident still there as well. Connecting Carolinas coming up next with Scott Hamilton here on the game. And 82 days until kickoff. Don't forget that before we have Carolina football here on 107.5 The Game in Columbia and also our affiliate in Myrtle Beach. Up next, Scott Hamilton on the game.